Wondery Plus subscribers can listen to Crime and Sports early and ad-free right now. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts.
Your weekly dose of romance and drama has arrived. Season 29 of The Bachelor is here, and Grant Ellis, certified hottie and former day trader, is trading his day job on Wall Street for a second chance at everlasting love. New episodes drop every Monday at 8/7 Central, bringing you fresh twists in Grant's journey to find his soulmate. This self-proclaimed mama's boy is all grown up and ready to invest his heart. Will his playful charm win over the house full of hopefuls, or will the competition prove too intense? From heartfelt moments to adrenaline-pumping dates, each week brings new surprises in the mansion. Will Grant find his perfect match or end up with a broken heart? Tune in every Monday at 8/7 Central on ABC and stream on Hulu for new episodes of The Bachelor.
In the depths of an Atlanta forest, a clash between activists and authorities ends in tragedy. I'm Matthew Scher, and on my new podcast, We Came to the Forest, we expose the hidden truths behind a shootout that left one activist dead and countless lives forever changed. Binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest ad-free on Wondery Plus.
Hello and welcome to Crime and Sports.
Yay!
Oh, yay indeed, Jimmy. Yay indeed. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Jimmie Whisman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us today. We're excited today. We have an extra crazy episode. It's one of those ones it's a pretty prominent guy, especially in the 90s, if you knew him, and very good at what he did. And we'll get to it in a second. But it's a wild, Jesus Christ. It's a guy that everybody remembers as an asshole.
Yeah.
And then when you dig deeper, you go, wow, he's even bigger of an asshole than I thought he was. That's amazing. Usually you dig deeper and you go, oh, he's not that bad of a guy.
Right.
It's just like one quote was taken out of context or one story got blown up or something. But nope, there's actually way more that seem to be covered up somehow, or not covered up, but just not really looked at.
Not really covered.
Because he's such an asshole.
Oh, boy.
Certain people, if you're enough of an asshole, people aren't surprised when you do asshole things.
Yeah.
So they don't even really pay attention anymore because they're just expecting it from you. Whereas if you're, when Tiger Woods does crazy shit back in the day, people are like, Tiger, not Tiger. He drives a Buick, for Christ's sake, not my Tiger. It's just a different story where,
Still a man.
Oh, Christ. Where Mike Tyson does something crazy and people don't remember it the next day because they're like, was that yesterday or 5 years ago? I don't remember because it happens all the time. It's one of those things.
He's the guy from The Hangover? No.
Yeah.
He was so funny
in that. He was hilarious. He seems calm now. Does Tai Chi and shit. But never mind all that. First off, want to thank everyone for your reviews last week, your Apple podcast, that purple icon, that pesky purple icon.
The bitch.
Those reviews, they help a lot. I don't know why. We have still 100. This is episode 186. Yeah. We don't know why. It's iTunes. It's there for Apple Podcasts and their funky algorithm that we have nothing to do with. But we do know that reviews help drive you up the charts, and that helps get you more listeners. So please do that if you haven't done it yet. It helps a lot, and we appreciate it. Also, head over to shutupandgivememurder.com for all of your crime and sports and small town murder needs. And listen to Small Town Murder if you're not listening to it, because it's stories of murder that we're making fun of. So if you like this, and it's this with murder, and replace sports and put murder in it, and that's what you got.
Every damn week.
There's all guaranteed murder. Yeah. Someone will die every week, so check that out. But head over to shutupandgivememurder.com for everything there. All sorts of new merchandise up there, crime and sports stuff, small town murder stuff, and very, very soon we're going to be releasing our slate of live shows for next year. So that's coming up literally in the next week. We're going to be doing that. They're going to be
there's only 1 month that we don't have a show.
I think so, in the summertime. Yeah. We take like July off, I think, or something like that. But otherwise, we're February through December. We're booked. We're coming all over cities we can't get to. You know what? Sorry, we try. We don't book.
There's only 52 weeks a year, and we got to have kids.
That's the thing.
We
got to have kids. We're trying to make kids all over the country, guys.
Right.
No. So, thank you guys for doing that, though. Check that out. Go to the site and look at all that. And if you want to be a hero of ours, ours, a producer, and one of the people, we're going to gush about them at the end of the show and say how wonderful they are and what a difference they make in our lives. If you want to become one of these people, you can do that very easily by going over to patreon.com/crimeinsports or head over to PayPal, use our email address, crimeinsports@gmail.com,
right,
and do all of that, and whoopee.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for doing that.
But the links are over at shutupandgivememurder.com.
That's right. They are.
Do that.
That's a handy little site they got there. And shutupandgivememurder.com.
It's clever of us.
It's clever of us to do that. So, yes, do all of that. And now that that's out of the way,
yes,
we got to dive into this because it's a lot to unpack and a lot to unravel. We're going to baseball this week, and it's Albert Belle.
He was you
remember Albert Belle?
Yeah, from
Nasty
the Indians.
hitter.
Yeah.
There you go. You remember that?
And the Blue Jays?
No. He wears a blue uniform.
Did he only play in Cleveland?
He played three different teams. No. That's not one of them.
Definitely not the Expos.
Not the Expos, no.
No, I got nothing.
Chicago and Baltimore.
White Sox or Cubs?
White Sox.
Really?
Yes. White Sox and Baltimore, too.
No shit.
Yeah.
American At the end, League. Obviously.
Well, there wasn't, you'll see. There wasn't, he wasn't around. He didn't linger off at the end.
No?
There was an injury. We'll talk about it here. Albert Belle, if you don't know him, he's known as one of the game's, honestly, he's known as you would think he's kind of like the poor man's Barry Bonds.
Yeah,
in terms of attitude. That's how people think of him. That's his image. He's like
Cleveland Barry Bonds.
Yeah, exactly. He's not well. Barry Bonds, his dad was a major leaguer who was his godfather's Willie Mays. Yeah. Barry Bonds is kind of like baseball royalty, whereas Albert Belle is not baseball royalty.
Cleveland.
He's Cleveland Barry Bonds or Shreveport Barry Bonds.
Oh, really?
That's where he's from. So yeah, Shreveport Barry Bonds here.
Jesus.
But the attitude on him is really what it seems to be what quote held him back is in terms of really endorsements, money, Hall of Fame consideration, you name it.
Hard-hitting son of a bitch.
Oh, he was
oh boy.
It cannot be underestimated how amazing of a player Albert Belle was. We'll talk about all through this, and let's do it. It's Albert Juwan Belle Jr. Now, not surprised.
No.
I saw that and I went, Yeah. Literally, I'm by myself, 2:00 in the morning, and I'm looking, I just went, yep, that's right. It was
that's my guy.
Like when a scientist is checking a theory that he thought, and he was I think knew? This is, and he's just making sure, and he's like, okay, exactly the results I put my lab.
Exactly what I expected.
I took my glasses off. I don't even wear glasses, but I took them off in a big motion and unbuttoned my lab coat, and I was like, yes.
My work is done here.
Work is done for the night here. I think he's a junior. And Juwan is not your, I guess, traditional Juwan spellings that you would imagine.
Juwan.
Those are the Juwans I've known growing up and shit like that.
W-A-N.
There's different ones. No, this is I've never seen this one before.
Is it JEW-ON?
Juwan? What the hell is that?
I don't know.
Juwan.
It's like an order.
The hyphen made sure you couldn't even pronounce it Juwan. It's got to be Jew-on. Well, why is it? What's on? Why on the Jew? Why him? Why does he have to have it on him? It's fucked up, man. No, his spelling is J-O. That's the Joe part. That's Joe. Yep. J-O. And then Juan, like his name is Juan,
J-U-A-N?
Oh, yeah. Joe Juan. One word. Joan. Juwan. Now that
is way worse than JEW-ON.
I don't even know where. How the fuck did his parents come up with that?
Is that like Spanish happening? Joanne? What is
They're
that?
not Spanish at all.
Is amazing.
That's what I mean. There's no explanation for this whatsoever, except that's how they spelled it. And I am.
And there are fucking two of those, Jay.
That's what I'm saying. And by the time I got to Albert Juwan Belle Jr., I was like, I might as well just stop here. We'll just talk about this for an hour and a half because this is insanity. Good Lord. Joe Juan.
Wow. That is amazing.
So in his beginning of his career and all through his younger years, he goes by Joey always, not Albert. Yeah, Albert comes later on. We'll tell you a specific incident prompts Albert. But yeah, he goes by Joey, which is Joe. Juan. Could have went by Juan too, but it would have looked odd.
Fucking hysterical.
Yeah. Old Joey, we're going to call him Joey for now, and then then when he switches to Albert, we'll switch to Albert, I guess. So he's Joey now.
It's the Wizard of Oz moment.
That's what I mean. So Joe Juan here. Joey is a twin, actually.
What?
Joey has a fraternal twin named Terry, who is 4 minutes older than him.
Wait.
Terry's the older one.
He's the second one born, and he got the junior.
And he got the junior, which is really strange. And it's strange I get naming your firstborn junior.
Right.
It's always odd, I find, when they name, well, I guess not, because sometimes like you'll have your firstborn and you'll name it after like your father that just died, or somebody will name it after a family member that just died. And then the next one will get junior.
Yeah.
But it's just strange to have twins and be like, Terry, and this one's just like me. This one and Terry. This one, like he's being lifted up like Simba, and then Terry gets pushed. Come on, Terry! Damn it, you're blocking the sunshine from you're blocking your brother's sunshine.
Get out of the way! The monkey's got to rub shit on his face.
Fuck, Terry, move along. So you're not anointing Terry with shit. So.
I hope Terry is successful as fuck today.
Terry does pretty well. We'll talk about Terry. He had his ups and downs, we'll say. Let's talk about Terry. So Terry,
starting from birth, he got it down.
Well, yeah, I would say I got kicked down. August 25th, 1966. They're born in Shreveport, Louisiana. Down there. Now his father, Albert Joe Juan Belle Sr. I'm going to put that in wherever I can, because it's really ridiculous, is a high school baseball and football coach and a teacher as well. So
he's that guy.
He's that guy, and all about coaching and all about academics too. Though academics are the thing in his family.
Really,
his family is not I mean, they're in sports, and Albert's all about that. But if your grades aren't right, you're not doing anything. I mean, your grades are first and foremost, and you're going to excel. Okay. It's not like you got to pass. I expect you to be
advanced
at the top of the class. I expect you to do extracurriculars that have to do with scholastic things, not just sports. Like, they're really into it. His mother, Carrie, is a math teacher. Okay. So they're not messing around with this. They raise these kids to, very yes sir, no ma'am, do your homework, get your shit done.
Southern regiment.
They're good parents. They raise their kids well. He is a Boy Scout and then an Eagle Scout.
Oh, Albert
Belle's an Eagle Scout. Now, I don't even know where to start with that. That should just be the name of the episode, and people go, Albert Belle's a fucking Eagle Scout, because that makes, if you know who Albert Belle is, you go, huh? What? That makes no sense whatsoever.
That's pretty incredible.
You would think, well, did he get? He got his badge in forest burning, like he was mad and set the trees on fire. That I could say, okay, that sounds like Albert Belle. But other than that, I don't see him tying knots well.
And his last name Belle is like Southern Belle, right?
Yeah. Like
that's fascinating.
Yeah, like Beauty and the Beast Belle.
Right.
There you go.
Yeah.
An Eagle Scout he is, which is just so weird.
I'm impressed so far. There's no reason in the world that this man should be a dickhead.
There is so much to be impressed about with this guy. That's the thing. Everything except kind of attitude and a few decisions, this guy is an exemplary figure of, if you work hard and blah blah blah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Except for, he's an asshole. So his little league coach said you couldn't ask for nicer boys about Terry and Joey.
Terry.
Even Terry. Terry's not even a schmuck. You'd think he'd have a chip on his shoulder.
A little bit.
I'm Terry and I'm angry, damn it.
I was born first.
Fuck. I'm the Danny DeVito. Right. That's not fair. So he said, quote, they said yes, sir, and no, sir, and they respected everyone so much. He said, so he said, and this is after Joey, I'll call him Joey for now.
Yeah.
After Joey was even a major leaguer, the little league coach said he still got visits from Joey when he'd be back home.
No kidding.
He'd still come see his Gene Procell, his little league coach. They're raised in a very strict household, these boys. It's Baptist.
Yeah.
They're Baptist, boy, and they don't fuck around. It's Baptist, like, they take that shit seriously, and you do your homework and you go to church.
Okay.
And that's what they did. Albert Sr. was coaching everything, and they said the boy's life was basically, it was all about respecting people and very old school. They raised him, sort of. They said, the little league coach said, quote, I don't recall Joey and Terry ever being in a situation where their parents had to get on them. Like, they just never did anything wrong because they knew better. I think.
Probably.
I think there was consequences.
Yeah, you got to answer for this shit.
And yeah, they knew better than that. He says, Joey here, he says, quote, I was blessed to grow up with parents who professed different strengths and skills. He said, Mom was and still is the glue of the family, but Dad was the enforcer and the silent pillar of strength. Mom encouraged academics and culture, and Dad always promoted athletics. Both gave me and my brother all they had. So yeah, they were, I mean, you can tell just by his quotes that he's not a fucking moron.
Right.
Like, we've done 185 episodes. There's a lot of morons that we've done. Tons of guys.
Idiot or asshole.
Yeah, idiot or asshole. 100% asshole if we do this. He's 0% idiot, Albert Belle. That's what makes me think that's what I don't understand about him, because I feel like a guy this smart should be smart enough to calculate how he needs to act, at least for that 5 minutes, and then go do whatever the hell he needs to do to blow off the steam. I understand, because I understand being pissy, and dude, you know me. I'm a pissy motherfucker, and that's why
it's okay to be angry. It depends on how you fucking channel the anger.
That's the thing. I relate to Albert Belle in many ways, not talent, obviously, but other ways. As far as feelings, I feel like he has. A lot of times the guys we do and the women we do, they do shit where they're whatever they did when they set out to do it, it wasn't a good path to start on, and then they just made it worse. Right. Whereas Albert he could be better, and I feel like he starts out. It has to be almost on purpose. I don't even know how to put it. Like he's smart enough to not do this to himself, which makes me angry at him and also makes me not understand what he's doing. And I tried to have like my own thoughts of like, how would I react to that? And I'm like, because I'd have similar thoughts, like I said, a valid feeling to start with, but then handling it completely wrong.
Okay. I mean, I'm reserving judgment just because at this point in the story, I never had that life, like having two supportive people at home.
No.
And one that was
crazy.
like a bad bitch in the first place.
This is
and then
crazy.
it sounds like she's great at guiding him. And then she's just like, and when he extra fucks up, she's like, wait till your daddy gets home. Wait till he hears about this.
But it's like when we went to St. Louis, and we had to go to a venue that we didn't really like, and we did this venue, and we walked in and we didn't care for it. We said what we didn't like about it, and we were pointing out what's bad for the show, and this projector sucks, and this is bad, and I don't like these chairs. Okay, that's how we reacted to it, which we had a valid feeling, and we reacted to it in a way that was okay for everybody. We didn't kick anybody in the chest or do anything like that.
Didn't throw anything.
That's what I mean. See, Albert Belle would have walked in, saw that, fucking kicked all the plastic chairs over, threw the projector on the ground, and then said, what, motherfucker? What are you going to do about it? You know what I mean? And then broke a couple of bottles behind the bar or something just to piss somebody off. Whereas you started out with a valid feeling and you're right, and then you got wrong in the way you handled it. Okay. So that's kind of the crux of what he does.
His reactions are not great.
The way he reacts to things are not wonderful. So they said that the father pushed them in athletics a lot. Joey says, quote, to this day, I believe my late night batting practices during my high school years were what made the difference in helping me arrive at the major leagues. After high school baseball practice, I would go home, eat dinner, and tackle homework. Dad would usually arrive home after a long practice with his high school team. After talking to Mom for a few minutes, he would poke his head in our room. That was our signal. My brother and I would immediately bounce up and jog out of the house to the local junior high school with Dad driving behind us. Dad would throw us hundreds of balls all night long.
What?
So that is next level supportive.
Yeah.
That's how you make guys who hit like Albert Belle.
Yeah.
You can't. That just doesn't happen. That's not natural talent. That's someone has to throw that kid 100 fucking balls every night. All night long.
After working all day in the goddamn sun, blowing whistles at somebody else's
doing baseball
kids.
practice, getting home, coming home, and just doing balls, throwing them balls till they couldn't swing their arms anymore, basically, to get them.
How much does Dad love sports?
He loves sports, and they love their kids. That's the thing, too. They put everything they have into their kids. Albert ended up going to Huntington High School in Shreveport. He played baseball and football. He is the a member of the National Honor Society as well. Oh, yeah. No, his grades were...
NHS, this guy.
Top notch.
Wow.
Vice president of the Future Business Leaders of America as well.
Shit.
Of the local chapter there. So, yeah, and an Eagle Scout, remember. Eagle Scout, National Honor Society, Vice President, Future Business Leaders of America.
He is busy.
He's like a Bush kid before they find alcohol. It's like I don't know what, you know.
He has literally no time for anything. No wonder he's not in trouble. He doesn't have time for it.
He has no time to be in trouble. He has only time to show up places, do work, and hustle ass to the next place, and eat basically. So people say that they were very competitive in high school. Him and his brother, not just with each other, but with everybody. They're just they're competitors. Sure. That's one thing. And their dad instilled that in them, and their mom. So we'll talk about their mom is a great mom, but she's tough. She's tough, and it would be taxing to deal with her. Basically, it's a later on in life when she's still kind of
overbearing.
She's overbearing, but she's in control of his finances later on, and all.
No.
And it's very much. It's very. You'll see. Taxing is the only word I can think of.
But she's a math teacher, so that's kind of a good person.
She's not.
To have
at least she can balance his checkbook. You'll see at the end here. He's not broke, so that's good. His mom did something.
Is his brother's real name Terry?
Terry.
Oh, that's fucked.
Oh yeah.
Can you imagine being 6 and being called Terry?
Terry. Oh. There's a lot of Terrys though out there.
Really?
Terry's a common name.
Is that their real name?
In the 60s, there's a lot of guys named Terry in the 80s and 90s that were born in the 60s. Terry was a very popular name in the 60s.
Name?
I don't know, but I would like to look up. No, it's mostly black guys that I see named Terry.
But usually they're Terrence.
But they go by Terry. Yeah. I don't know if his brother's Terrence or Terry.
But I mean, 6 going by Terrence isn't so hard as Terry.
It's kind of weird.
I don't know.
Terrence? Terrence? It's a little formal for a 6-year-old. Terrence, fix your ascot. Jesus, we're going to dinner.
I'd rather hear Terrence than fucking Terry.
Act like we're just sitting in the parlor drinking brandy, for God's sake.
Terry's a 52-year-old man's name.
Your ascot.
Or an adorable
I think of Terry Porter. You know
all right,
I think of him. I think of the wrestler Terry Taylor. Guys like that. So a teammate of theirs in baseball in high school says, quote, chess, ping pong, basketball, video games, reading, you name it. They hated to lose. And looking back, you can see patterns from the competitiveness that have creeped into the way Joey is perceived today. This is later on. At one point, they said, this is crazy, that they were so focused and determined to be the best at Ms. Pac-Man that they figured out all the patterns. Like if you've ever seen The King of Kong, everybody's always asking for documentaries. King of Kong is a great one. Yeah. I don't give a shit about competitive video game playing.
I've seen that.
These guys, but it's amazing. There's a villain. The guy dresses and looks like a villain. He's a total asshole, and they found out now he's a fraud. I don't know if you saw.
Is he really?
Updates. Oh yeah, not Steve Wiebe, the other guy I believe is allegedly. I guess I think they found out whatever, but I don't know if he's a
fraud in
guy.
Like the game.
Yeah, he was submitting fraudulent shit. Remember, the thing, like he wouldn't do anything live because he would just submit these crazy videos, and they would say, "Oh, it's confirmed." And I guess there was a problem there. There was some issue. But anyway, King of Kong is a great documentary, and that's kind of what they were doing with the patterns, figuring them all out so they could play forever. Their friend said, quote, they had the patterns figured out to the point they could play an hour on one quarter.
That's impressive.
That's what I mean. So that's
very cool.
The kind of focus they have when they want to take something apart and figure it out. Yeah. They do it.
There are guys that do that shit on YouTube, and it's pretty impressive.
That's what I mean. It is impressive because you just have to, basically you have to be on the spectrum of some kind to, like when you watch Steve Wiebe, you're like, this guy's 100%, I watch him and I'm like, he's like grown up my son, basically, like the grown up version of him. So it totally makes sense.
You said a minute ago, reading. They're competitive with
reading.
How do you get competitive with reading?
To read
I read
faster and still like know everything about it.
Wow.
And shit like that. Like it's just everything they are. It's competitive. And
that's ridiculous.
Even academically. Now, everything the hard work, Joey here says about his mother, quote, she instilled that in us, and I've never missed time from work except for 5 hours when I'd eaten something bad from the night before, is what Terry says, not Joey, sorry. And then, I guess Joey also here, crazy work ethic, same type of thing. He says books were always important. There was no, you couldn't focus on just one thing. You had to hit all night, but you better work. You better be focusing on your schoolwork too. Now his high school, Huntington High School, he's the only alumni ever to reach the majors from that high school that I found. Yeah, he is. Like I said, he's an all-state baseball player there, National Honor Society. Yada yada. His mother says, "quote Joey is extremely smart. He's great with figures and crossword puzzles. He could spell backwards when he was 5. Did you know my Joey was an Eagle Scout? He took French in high school, finished sixth in his class of 266. I brought him up to excel in everything. He wants to be perfect." Yeah. That's what she said in 1991.
The word backwards when he was 5,
he could
or spell words
backwards and forwards.
What the fuck?
Yeah, so you know them better. That's how. Yeah.
Wow.
If you practice that, you're going to know them even better. So he'd go, well, fuck, I'll go practice that at 5 because that's what I got to do.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I could barely spell the word backwards at 5.
That's what I mean. Yeah, you'd go. There'd be pauses. Yeah.
Did I do it?
Huh? Put your hands out. Huh?
Right?
I'm good at this, right? No. Fuck. Yeah. I thought I was good at this. Apparently not here. He, in 1984, he is selected to play for the United States in the Junior Olympics, and they win a silver medal there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, let's see. Eagle Scout.
Yep.
National Honor Society. What was the other one? Future Business Leaders of America.
Yeah. Vice President.
Medal-winning Junior Olympian.
Unreal.
Let's add this to it. So far, he sounds like basically Captain America.
Yeah.
Like he could be, you'd put him up and go, this is an American child. This is the perfect American child. If he goes over and if he could just go, kill someone else in an enemy of some kind, they would put him on a fucking, on money
with a shield.
He'd be replacing Andrew Jackson. Just Albert Belle with his face up. So he played outfield and he pitched also back then. He's got a cannon for an arm, by the way. Oh yeah, in right field, he's got a cannon for an arm. Yeah, big time arm. He pitched and played in the outfield. He won one game as a pitcher in the Olympics there, Junior Olympics, and then after graduation, he is offered, and this is not easy to get. This is a prestigious thing. These schools are tough to get into. He's offered an appointment to the United States Air Force Academy, which
is that real?
That's real. Then that doesn't happen often. No. That's like I said, West Point, Air Force, Naval Academy. They're all difficult, and he's offered a spot there, and he says, "Nah,
no thanks,
no thanks. I don't think so.
I'm too American for that."
So that's what I mean. He could have then flew a fighter pilot. He could have been literally changed his name to Joe Juan America, and they would have said, "Great, perfect." Give him a sunglass, a helmet with a flag on it, and I swear to Christ, he would have been president by now.
Yeah,
or something. A congressman, a senator, at least a senator. I feel like,
at a minimum, a district congressman for sure. He's incredible.
Oh, impressive young man, right? Are you impressed with this guy?
He's 18 years old.
He's done 10 times more than I've done in my entire life by 18. I still can't even spell as well as him. He's got me beat at 5. I'm catching up to 5-year-old Albert Joan Belle. You understand? Still, I'm working on that. Junior. So when I talk shit about him,
understand where our place is.
We get it.
Right.
We know he's talented and smart, and we're idiots and we're not talented. But he's also a fucking moron that gets arrested all the time. So let's find out.
Guess who doesn't have an arrest record?
That's the other thing. Yeah, especially not for the shit he has. Because there's some things that are fine, and we say that all the time. And I'm going to say this for the last fucking time. Yeah. Nobody messaged, especially me. Well, I don't know if they messaged Jimmie, but especially me, because I'm going to start answering from now on. Do not message me saying, isn't it a little hypocritical to be friendly with Lenny Dykstra on Twitter? And
people
like,
have said that?
Fuck yeah. I've gotten messages like, I don't know, man. I mean, it's a little hypocritical. You're going to talk shit about him. And I'm like, no, you fucking idiots.
You don't get it.
You don't get it. You don't fucking get it. Okay? I'm not perfect.
No.
Jimmie's not perfect.
Oh boy, no.
We're not I don't judge people on shit. And there's certain things. If someone's like a child molester, I'm not going to hang out with them.
Judge the hell out of them.
Piece of shit. If they're a murderer or something like that. But even then, I've known people, I'm not going to say who, but I've known people who were fucking murderers that didn't murder me and were in, other whatever, and I'd still be friends with them.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Most of my friends growing up, none of them were good. None of them were Joey Bell in school. None of them. I had no friends like that. They were all fucking fuck ups and, in and out of jail and shit. So it's fine. Like I don't judge people on shit unless it's something that I can't morally handle. And even murder in certain capacities, which I'm not saying, I'm talking very specific capacities.
Oh boy, yeah.
And if you knew what I was talking about, you'd understand what I was saying. But like,
murdering a drug dealer who happens to be maybe a murderer too.
That's what I mean. It's all in the game. It's an Omar thing at that point. You know what I mean? There's an all in the game factor to certain shit. But other than that, like I can't judge people based on that and say I would never give that person the time of day. Or if they talk to me, I'd go, fuck you, man. Like I'm not going to do that.
Other point is Lenny listens to the show.
And he's a funny fucking guy.
He knows what he's done.
He knows who he is, and he's a funny guy. Right. And I think I like the fucking guy.
He's
Sorry,
working on it.
Yeah. You know what? We're all working on it. You got a problem with it? Eat shit. I don't know what to tell you.
How
like Lenny.
How
Sorry.
great must it be to live in your ivory palace?
That's what I'm saying.
That must be incredible.
We're not perfect.
No.
We know it, and we're happy to say it, and we're happy to go, like we said, we're going to make fun of Albert Belle, even though he's way smarter and more talented than us. We realize that. We're not
It's interesting,
dumb.
though, to point out to Lenny Dykstra that his life is not how he planned it would go.
He knows that.
He's very well
aware of that.
The man dug through a trash can to find his teeth.
Yeah.
I'm sure that
he fucking knows.
I'm sure
what's
the
up.
thought this isn't where I thought my life would be went through his head at that moment.
But I don't. You know what though? If it did, it's very fleeting because that's. No, but I mean, that's the thing about Lenny is he goes, tomorrow I have, it's going to be a brand new day.
Right.
And this whole thing's going to turn around because that's how you have to be. You can't be a good hitter if you go in, if you have one bad at bat and go in the shits.
And then you just go, well, I guess this is where I am now. I guess I suck now.
I guess I don't hit curveballs anymore. If anyone throws me a curveball, I guess I'm done. That's it. Like, you can't do that. You have to go, well, that never happened. I'll be back in 2 fucking innings to make it better. That's the attitude you have to have. And that's what it is, man.
The psychopathy is fascinating.
It is what it is. I mean, you have to do it. That's certain people, professional athletes that are great on that level have to have that. It's just the way it is. And a lot of people in life have to have that. Successful people too. It's the same shit. How many times have we seen comedians? If comedians weren't crazy and have that insanity, they would have one bad set and go, oh, Jesus, I guess we've all had a bad night.
Oh, boy.
Or did that mediocre night where you're like, oh, I really thought that joke kills all the time.
Oh, boy, a plentiful.
I guess I'm not funny anymore. Like, you can't do that. You have to go, well, that never happened. Fucking do a shot or whatever you do, smoke a joint and do the next set and hope it goes better, and that's it.
I'll never tell that joke again.
That's it. Yeah, you can't do that. So Belle, though, he decides not to go to the academy and instead stays home and takes a baseball scholarship at Louisiana State University. He's going to LSU.
Really?
Now, yeah, he goes to LSU.
Tiger.
He's a Tiger, and he's a bad man at LSU. He is just a fucking beast. He played center field as a freshman.
Yeah.
He was hitting as a sophomore. They moved him to right field because of his cannon of an arm, and they're hitting him in the cleanup spot. He's a beast. He hit .414 in his freshman season.
The right way.
Yeah, 5 home runs, 22 RBIs, and only 37 official at bats.
Wow.
In his freshman year. That's silly.
400 out of 37 at bats.
And hitting 5 home runs in 37 at bats. That's silly. It's an at bat every 7 home runs, which is that's a sick pace that no one has.
That's like 15 hits in those at bats. That's crazy.
Well, while he's in college, he's first team All SEC, the conference, in both these years, 86, 87. He's the regional tournament MVP in 86, the South whatever bracket that is. Second team All-America in 86, third team All-America in 87. His coach says he's going to have to hit and give us some power this season about his sophomore season. He's awfully young, but awfully talented, and there'll be a lot of pressure on him to produce. Now, I just had to note that in the outfield with him will be a guy named Mike Papa John.
No.
That's his real name. P-A-P-A John. Papa John. So Joe Juan and Papa John are going to hit the outfield here, which I find fucking amazing. Jesus Christ. But Papa John had 39 stolen bases in his freshman year.
Poor fuck.
Not too shabby.
He hates himself today.
Yeah.
He hates his parents. Why didn't you just change it?
Come on, why?
As soon as he got
Papa
big,
John?
as soon as the pizza chain got big, why didn't we just go, no,
well,
we're not doing it?
You know what? I don't know. This was like 1986. So I don't know if anyone knew about Papa John.
6 more years, right?
Yeah, so everything's good for him now.
At this moment.
He walks around, how you doing? Mr. What's his fucking name?
Mr.
Mike Papa John. Good to meet you. Hand out. confident, chest out.
Big smile.
Mike Papa John, good to see you. Now he's like, Mike Papa John. So what was that? It's
Papa.
It's Mike Papa J. It's Mike Papa J. No problem. Now, Terry not only backs up Albert in...
Every way he says his name, they go, like the pizza joint?
Like, Papa John's? Are you part of that? No! It's not a last name.
Just Papa. Like Papa John? Like that Papa?
Like that guy? It's kind of a dick. Yes! We're not related, okay?
Don't know him.
I don't even fucking know the guy. Just got straddled with this horrible last name.
I hate the
Jesus
pizza.
Christ. Now, his brother not only gets fucked over and doesn't get the junior,
right,
but he also is Albert's backup, Joey's backup in college. Yeah, he goes to LSU also. That could have been, I don't know how good Terry is, but he's a backup. So if he was that good, he'd be playing left field while Albert was playing right or center and right or whatever it is. So I feel like it's possible, especially back then, they used to do kind of if someone's a star and they really want him, they do kind of the buddy thing.
Take your boy too.
Yeah, like, hey, you got any? Well, both of you can come here, and they did do
when
that
they
with
go
friends.
Meet the parents, they're like, we just want to get
both the
gotta
boys
get Joey
a great
down there, get
education.
him trained up. Well, I've got this other boy too, same damn age.
We'll keep
matter
them
of fact.
together.
4 minutes apart.
We'll keep them together and keep them out of trouble. That's the way it'll be because you want your want your guys to be together. Now, people said that his personality changed after his sophomore season when people started he'd see like the baseball scouting reports and shit like that, and it started. His name started being thrown about as a high selection in the next year's draft.
Yeah.
So he kind of
got a special boy ego about him.
Well, not only that, they said he got kind of tense. He was had a short fuse after that. He was that sort of thing. And they said he would start, if things went wrong, he would start really flipping out and shit like that. He just turned into a different guy.
Really?
Now there's something happens here in the College World Series that is just absolutely fucking bonkers in '87 or right before the College World Series.
In Omaha?
I believe so. I don't know if that's where they were playing there. I don't know if the beginnings of it or when it was. Because it wasn't the actual College World Series. It was like the
tournament
games
leading up to?
I don't know how college baseball works because nobody watches it. Nobody cares about college. Sorry, everyone in Nebraska and Tulsa or Oklahoma and Nebraska and the three-state Kansas, the three states anyone gives a shit about fucking college baseball. But ping, I don't think so. Keep that shit to yourself. Start using wooden bats and I'll maybe look at it. Ping! It's a pop-up.
It is hilarious.
It's so stupid. It's like Little League, but the kid's 20 years old and 230 pounds. He's got an Easton. Like, get the fuck out of here with that thing, you stupid jackass. Put that down. Doesn't your 12-year-old brother need his bat back? So, fuck.
That noise ruins the whole fucking thing.
It's so stupid. It
does.
Ping every hit. You can't avoid it. It's not like sometimes it doesn't make that noise.
Right.
Every time.
If you close your eyes, you can just in your head imagine a softball game being thrown about. A beer league. I'm not even saying just like girls. I'm just saying something. Something way worse.
No, worse.
That nobody.
Fat drunk guys. Way worse than anybody playing softball.
Somebody that's not an athlete.
No, and thinks they are. That's the sad part. Fat guys,
much bigger
who
egos.
used to be better at sports, never good, but were used to be a little better, think they can still do it, and then they get drunk too, which makes them think they can do it even more, and makes them actually able to do it even less. Which is why it's entertaining. But in college baseball, you don't even get that. No fat accountant's going to trip and fall and fall over his belly and do a full roll.
Into first base.
That never happens in college, ever. They run and they just get there.
They leg it out.
Not particularly fast, because if they were fast, they would have been drafted high out of high school, and it wouldn't have mattered. In the first round, they wouldn't have turned down $5 million signing bonus.
You were making a good case to watch this shit.
Well, yeah. So, hey, everybody. Just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about one of our best sponsors, Harry's Razors.
Harry's.com.
Harry's is so good. And it's and you know what's going to happen too. Men get bad Christmas presents. We do. No one knows what to give us. No. You end up getting like some tie you're never going to wear, or ugly socks,
silly socks.
Yeah, so there you go.
I don't need that.
Something with a reindeer on them.
Give me something functional.
Yeah, I hate when you get Christmas things. It's like, well, this is good for today. What about tomorrow when I don't care about this anymore and won't for another 11 months?
Santa suit, PJ bottoms?
What is this?
No.
I don't need this right now. Well, there's good news. Right now, listeners of our show, Crime and Sports, can get $5 off any Harry's shave set by heading to harrys.com/crimeandsports. Free shipping ends on December 16th, so act now. This is a practical gift that your guy will actually use.
Yeah.
And or guess what? Women will use this too.
Yeah.
This is great. My daughter uses this. My wife uses the Harry's razors.
Yeah.
They say it's wonderful for everything that they shave as well as not. You can get rid of those ingrown hairs on your face and everything.
Knock down your shoulders.
Do it. Jimmie does it.
I use them.
If it can take down Jimmie's back hair, it can conquer anything. Harry's can do it. It's a German engineered award-winning blades that last a long time, all backed by a 100% quality guarantee. Holiday sets start at just $20. That's even within like a Secret Santa type limit if you got something like that going on. And Harry's blade refills are as low as $2 each, so you're going to save money over time. We love Harry's. We've said it a million times. We love Harry's. You just love how your neck, you don't get those ingrown hairs because the razors are so good.
I got to shave all the time, and I use Harry's, and I do it on the road, and I feel comfortable on the road because I can get a good shave.
That's important too. You want to feel good on stage, and you can feel good too. And as a special offer for fans of our show, we've partnered with Harry's to give you $5 off any shave set, including their limited edition holiday sets when you go to harrys.com/crimeandsports. Plus, you'll get free shipping. You can't beat that. Each Harry's shaving set comes with all of these things: a weighted handle with the option to engrave, 5-blade razor cartridges, foaming shave gel for a rich lather, and that stuff is good, let me tell you something, travel cover to protect your blades, and it's packaged in a handsome holiday gift box. Free shipping ends on December 16th, so act now. Just go to harrys.com/crimeandsports. That's harrys.com/crimeandsports.
And now back to the show.
They're playing Mississippi State University, and some of Mississippi State's fans are, how do I put this? They're dicks, Jimmie. They're fucking dicks.
Yeah.
They're racist assholes, these people. I don't know if there still are, but at this point, at least these particular fans, now people are going to be like, I like Mississippi State. Right. I'm sure you're not racist. These people were. First, during his first at bat, a large group of Mississippi State fans started chanting buckwheat at him. What? All through his at bat, they chanted buckwheat. This is 1987. This is not 1967. Yeah. This is not 1947.
No.
This is not 1867. This is fucking 1987. Like, think of Alpha's on TV right now. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Webster's on TV.
This is ridiculous. Yeah. Michael Jordan is soaring through the sky. Like, this is silly stuff. With that buckwheat, they're chanting at him.
Holy shit.
After that, Albert's out in center field.
If you don't know who that is, that's the little black boy from Little Rascals. And it is certainly a racist
black
thing.
Boy. I understand he's a boy because he's a child.
That he's the African American on the show.
But no. If you say black boy together, it just doesn't sound right. Even though it's a black child. Which is fine. It's he's a boy.
There's no,
I get it.
An adolescent man.
It just hits my ear a little sideways. I'm like, ouch, Jesus, Jimmie. I get what you're saying.
The most adorable one on the show, mind you.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
No, he's the star of the show. God damn it. So,
Jesus.
Buckwheat here. They're chanting buckwheat at him, which is definitely not sensitive racially or anything else. No. It's just being a fucking asshole.
It's clearly to ruffle his feathers.
So then a particular fan goes out in center field to the center, behind the center field wall when Albert's playing center field, and decides to just say all sorts of racial slurs at him. Just not even clever. Not even attempting to be clever. Obviously he's not clever, but not even attempting to be clever. Right. Just calling him names.
Just screaming terrible things.
Yeah. So Albert, while there's between a pitch, he decides to go over the fucking wall and beat the shit out of him.
Wow.
This guy, he had a good mouth on him and a big mouth on him until Albert got over the fucking wall. And then he had a different look on his face. Like, oh shit.
I'm sure Albert Belle looked a little smaller from that distance too.
And
coming close. Oh, Jesus.
This top tier athlete and future business leader of America is about to beat the shit out of me and then tie me up in some Eagle Scout knot. And this is terrible. terrible. So, Albert goes after him. They have to, security comes and tries to keep Albert from killing this man.
In the middle of a play.
In the middle of a game.
Wow.
They had to stop the game to go, where'd the center fielder go? Holy shit, he's strangling a fan.
Oh, he's going up the wall for no ball.
There's nothing there. He just leapt the wall and went to murder this man. And I get it. But so this guy, they didn't even fucking kick this guy out. They ordered him to go back and sit with the rest of the Mississippi State fans.
Wow.
Which is crazy. I'm sorry. If you're hurling racial slurs over the center field wall, you have to leave now. To the point where the center fielder tries to physically beat you. Silly. I think you're done for the day.
Unbelievable.
That gets you bounced probably. So he attacks him, and apparently this pisses his coach off. He's actually, what stops him from killing the guy finally is two of his own teammates, his left fielder and his right fielder, went over and tackled him, and to keep him from killing this guy, like, dude, you're going to get in trouble here.
They didn't get up that wall near as fast as he did, because there's something about rage and fear.
I will, and
either one will
and it was building.
Yeah.
So, it was just like, that's it, it's going. He was like, all right, motherfucker, that's it.
And you get up that wall
you did it.
So fast.
Boom, cleat, bow, over the wall, you're done.
The other two probably stumbled a couple of times. Yeah. Albert, stop, I gotta get up there.
Hold on, Albert. He was like, I will whoop your ass. So the coach, Skip Bertman, suspends Albert from the 1987 College World Series.
He gets the punishment
from this. Yeah, the other guy got to stay. He could probably go get another beer even, but Albert couldn't play anymore. He was out here.
Wow.
So that's obviously you can't go over the center field wall and try to kill a guy.
I don't know. Depends on what's said.
Look, I understand. No, I understand you want to, and guys have done this before. I mean, Vernon Maxwell ran up in the stands, and hey, you know what? I get that if someone's saying something to you on a personal level that you can hear, that's a person is insulting you personally, and you can take it personally if you want. Obviously, it's not good for you to go over the wall. Again, valid.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Again, it's
when you go to their zone, then it's on you. But if they come to your zone, beat the living shit out of them.
Yeah, the emotion to want to kill this man, completely valid.
Yeah.
Starts off from a valid place, then jumps the center field wall.
You got a point.
Tries to kill him, which then makes him look like he takes it from that Albert is the wronged party to Jesus Christ, Albert, why do you have to be a fucking asshole? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Your mom and dad are teachers. Didn't they teach you two wrongs don't make a right, Albert?
I mean, I don't know what you could have done. I don't know if he could have said, hey, time out.
Yeah.
Fucking umpire, can we get a security guy to get this asshole out of here?
Seriously have to listen to this?
Yeah, because, I mean, at that point, I don't know how anybody would have said, no, he can stay and shout the N-word at you. That sounds insane,
How does it is Mississippi, but...
I don't know
how does nobody in the stands go, dude, shut the fuck up?
How did no one else run over and pop this guy in the face? Shut up, asshole.
My kid is here, you dick.
Or just, hey, don't say that shit in public at
Try
people.
to be
don't be a dick.
funny, you jerk off.
Not if it's
without, you know what I mean.
Without racial slurs. I get you were saying. You're Andrew Jacksoning yourself hard tonight. Jesus Christ.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to scream the N-word, at least make it clever.
So he sets school marks while he's there and has tenure there for home runs with 49, total bases 392, and RBIs with 172.
Yeah.
So he's the leader in everything.
That's great.
From that school here. Now, the amateur draft that year, 87 Major League Amateur Draft, we'll go through real quick. Top pick that year, what do you think?
What year?
87.
Ken Griffey.
You got it,
yeah.
man. Ken Griffey Jr. Remember the back of that car. You pulled that out of your ass.
I really did.
Yeah.
But he just turned 50, and I'm fucking blown away.
That's crazy,
That's
right?
the only reason I know that it was him, because that was...
He was a kid, too.
Yeah, he was a kid.
He was a kid, yeah. He was in the majors, goddamn, the next year.
When was Albert Belle drafted?
This year.
What number?
We'll talk about it.
Sorry.
We'll get there.
Junior number 1.
Telling a fucking story.
Maybe the only junior that's not a piece of shit.
He's fine, yeah.
The best.
He's great.
Yeah.
Jack McDowell. Remember Black Jack McDowell, the guy that gave the Yankee Stadium crowd the finger while he was on the Yankees?
Playing for the Yankees.
Oh, yeah. He didn't last long after that. That wasn't a smart move.
Black Ollie.
That was on the cover of the fucking papers, him giving the fingers. Like, oh, you're done. He was picked number 5. Kevin Apier, number 9. Delino DeShields in this draft. Chris Carpenter. There, who there was a story about him, Albert kind of owning Chris Carpenter. Craig Biggio in that first round I think he's a Hall of Famer now.
Probably,
I think he is. Dave Burba, pitcher for a long time here. Todd Hundley, who's a piece of shit. He hit 30 home runs once and then was a pile of garbage.
He's on the Hall of Fame list right now.
Who?
Hundley.
Todd Hundley?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
No. Well,
wait. No.
Todd Hundley's not a good.
No,
Todd Hundley had
Mets,
like 2 good years
right?
for the Mets. Yeah, he's a shit defensive catcher who hit like 30 home runs once, and then they said, "Oh my God, Todd Hundley," and then he hit 212 for the rest of his life.
You know what I just did in my head?
He's the Mets Matt Noakes, is what he is.
I confused him with Todd Helton.
Todd Helton's a great
player,
career fucking 340 hitter. He's amazing.
He's on the ballot for the Hall of Fame.
That's your first ballot guy right there. He's amazing. I get that he played in Colorado, but I don't care.
Might be first ballot. He may have been on already, and he's not in yet.
Oh well, he should be. Goddammit. Albert Belle picked 47th overall. It's the Indians by the Cleveland Indians. Okay. It's their first pick of the draft that they have. They traded a draft pick away.
Great pick.
It's their first pick. They pick Albert Belle. Nobody else wanted him because he's known as an asshole.
Yeah.
So nobody else wanted him. Yeah. Later on in that draft, Ray Lankford, Reggie Sanders, Mike Mussina, Mike Stanton, Steve Finley. Yeah. A lot of guys. Scott Brocious, Jeremy Burnitz, Darryl Kyle.
Great players.
He died. Yeah. Rob Nen, Jeff Conine, Brad Osmus. A lot of guys in that draft. A lot of them came late too. So 87, he's in Single A.
Yeah.
Oh boy, in the Carolina League down there. Single A for Kingston down there. He plays in 10 games, just a kind of an introductory thing. And he was playing in college earlier that year. He has 45 plate appearances, 37 at bats, has some walks, 3 home runs, 9 ribbies, nothing crazy. 88, he's playing at Kinston in North Carolina here. Mike Hargrove is his manager, who will be future Cleveland Indians manager for years and years.
Really?
All through those 90s, all those teams.
And he had him in Single A.
They had him in Single A down here. He sends Bell home because there's nowhere to send a guy from Single A. In the majors, you'd be like, you're going down to Triple A, pal. Triple A, you're going down to Double A. Right. Single A is like you're going to your mom's house because that's the only other place you can go down. We can't put you anywhere lower. So he sends him home mid-season for failing to hustle repeatedly. Basically,
what the fuck?
Not
man?
Running out ground balls.
That's not the like Joey we know.
It's Joey is better than that.
Yeah.
He's an Eagle Scout for Christ. He's a vice president of the
National Honor Society.
Come on, man, turn your work in.
Damn it, Joey.
Fix your penmanship.
Show me your math.
So he, 2 weeks they give him at home, and then they reassign him to a lower, like the low Class A league in Iowa, and he refused to report. So I won't, that's beneath me. I won't show up. So he's sent home for the remainder of the season. They go, all right, you fucking asshole, I guess go home.
I can't believe he made it to the majors. I can't believe he ever had an MLB appearance.
He's so goddamn, he's so fucking, good. That's the thing. Now, also in 1988, he's a little distracted. This is very under the radar, and this is something that you can't find anywhere except this was revealed during a deposition for a lawsuit.
Oh, no.
So if you're in a deposition for a lawsuit, you have to answer these fucking questions.
Yeah.
And he had to answer these questions, and he is convicted of domestic violence assault in 1988.
Does it say who?
We don't know any of the details. We just know that he has a conviction of a domestic violence assault.
Fascinating.
So that's 1988. Completely covered up, nowhere to be found.
Okay.
This is, like I said, only comes up due to the lawsuit. So it was an incident that took place on July 5th, 1988 in Tucson, Arizona.
No kidding.
That's it. Yeah, because that's where I assume a lot of guys have places where their team does spring training.
Good point.
That's where a lot of guys set up shop.
And that's
in Cleveland
affordable
used to do Tucson.
If you're not actually in the fucking majors
and
yet.
Tucson in the 80s is who the hell you could buy half the town for? I don't even know. Nobody wants to live there. Yeah, no one wants to live. I got a cup of warm. It ain't body warm, but it's almost body warm.
You could set it in the sun.
I mean, you could do that, but maybe what? 400 or 500 acres, maybe? I don't know. Something. I mean, it's Tucson, so, I
thought you were going to say 4 or 5 months rent.
No, 400 or 500 acres. Going the other way. So they like him. So in 1989, he hits well in the minors, and so well that in July of 1989, granted, you have to remember the Cleveland Indians in 1989 are wretched.
Yeah.
This is the Major League, the movie about this funny, awful.
About this shit.
Was about it's released in 1989 about the Indians. So it's about the late 80s Indians. This is what he's drafted into.
The movie was about them making it. I think they won the pennant in the movie. I don't think they won the World Series in the movie.
No. They went on to lose. They went on to lose.
But they won the pennant, and that was a big that was a big deal to them. And
I thought just going to the playoffs was the end of that movie.
I think you might be right.
They made it to the playoffs.
And that was unbelievable.
And then in Major League Two,
they were like, if they did?
In Major League Two, they were like, we got beat in the playoffs.
Right.
Now we got to take it to the next level.
I think you're right.
Yeah, I think that's how it, if I remember correctly. But
and that was amazing to them.
So if anybody has any talent whatsoever, they're looking for them at this point. So
because the movie was ridiculous. For them to make the playoffs, that's ridiculous.
It's silly.
That's how shitty they were.
Well, in 1989, in real life, they were 73 and 89, and not going to the playoffs and not doing anything anywhere near the movie. So July 15th, 89, he makes his MLB debut versus Texas, has a hit and an RBI and a stolen base that day. In 89 altogether, and this is the team, this is the Indians. I'll give you the lineup and tell me how many guys you know. I know all these guys from baseball cards and shit. I'm crazy.
I'll know a few of them from baseball cards.
Andy Allenson.
Nope.
I remember he was a Topps All-Star rookie. Had a little fucking cup on his card there. Pete O'Brien, who had Fraggle hair. Fraggle-haired catcher. That's Charlie. That's Charlie O'Brien. Okay. I'm sorry. Pete O'Brien.
Was it R-I-E-N?
I don't fucking remember. R-I-E-N.
Yeah, I know
Pete
who
O'Brien.
He is. Yeah.
Jerry Brown with an E at second base. Felix Fermin, I remember from the Indians and other teams here. Brooke Jacoby, who was around forever on the Indians. Oda B. McDowell, who you got to remember. You remember Oda B. McDowell played for the Rangers? And, Jesus Christ. Joe Carter.
Yeah.
No, you know Joe Carter, obviously. Hit that home run off Mitch Williams. Corey Snyder, who was very blonde. Looked like a Viking.
First baseman?
Remember Corey Snyder? Right fielder.
Remember
Corey Snyder there? Yeah, exactly.
I nailed it.
Jesus Christ. And Albert Belle on the bench here.
Okay.
So that year, Albert, he only has 62 games he plays in, 218 at bats. He hits 225 with 7 homers, though. Okay. So he shows a little pop in his bat, and they go, all right, take a look at this kid. It's, he makes $68,000 that year.
Jesus.
So, bringing it in.
He is the mayor of Tucson.
Tucson. You're going to do great there. 1990, and $68,000 in the 80s is pretty good. I mean, you can live on that now and do okay, but I mean, in the 80s, for a ball player, though.
He had a new car.
Yeah, he was driving around something decent. 1990 Cleveland, he comes up. This is a 77 and 85 team, 1990 Cleveland. So not getting any better here. This, at least they have Sandy Alomar Jr.
Oh, he was so good.
I remember he was great. Keith Hernandez comes on the team, Keith, if you have like a young team, you introduce Keith Hernandez to it, they're going to get an education on a few things.
About to learn some life.
How to properly chop cocaine and trim your mustache. Both in the same, and how not to get that cocaine in your properly trimmed mustache. I feel like here. So, Candy Maldonado comes on the team, guys. A couple got Carlos Baerga. It's the beginning of his career. I think he played until 2 fucking years ago or something. Not literally.
He might still be playing.
He played forever. Right. He was 21 at this point. So, Alex Cole, who I believe will have an episode about him someday.
Really?
Yeah, he did some fuck ups here. Guys like that. Now, this year, he only plays in 9 games because we'll talk about it in a second. He's 23 at bats, so his stats don't matter. He makes $117,000.
Yeah.
But the problem is he hits 174, gets sent down to Colorado Springs, and then the Indians decide we think he has a drinking problem. And so they went to him. They went to his mom, who's very close to him. His mom said he doesn't have a drinking problem. And everybody denied it. And then he's in the Colorado Springs, where he got sent down, the minor league team, and the clubhouse in June. And he's pissed off and destroys the clubhouse.
Really?
Absolutely fucking wrecks the clubhouse. And at that point, they go, you got a problem.
Yeah.
If you don't have a problem, then you're just crazy. So
if it's not booze, then anger issues, for sure.
Something. And he is sent to a rehab clinic here, and he stays there for 10 weeks.
Oh, so that's intense.
That's a big one. Yeah, 10 weeks is a lot. 2.5 months is a long time.
Wow.
So he had an issue.
Yeah.
So he comes out, and when he comes out, he's no longer Joey.
No.
Now, I must tell you, on his baseball card from back then, it said Joey Belle. I remember his 90 scorecard when I was a kid. Joey Belle. It's always Joey Belle on his baseball cards. He comes out of rehab and says, I'm Albert now. Period.
Joey had the problems.
Joey had the problems. Yeah. Joey was the guy that it was before. Mm-hmm. Now I'm Albert. I'm going to be an adult. That was my kid self. Now I'm an adult. I need to be Albert now.
And if I fuck this up, I'm just going to go by Bell Jr.
He said, quote, it's a new me.
Okay.
God damn it. If I fuck this up, it's just Junior.
Yeah.
That's it. Now, he is a big drinker. Mm-hmm. Also, in the winter of 1990, he's back in rehab again at the Cleveland Clinic, where he spends another 2 months there and undergoes counseling for alcoholism and to control his temper. which he also has an issue with, obviously, as we'll talk about. Now, he made his own drink up. That was, I don't know if this is his own drink or if this is I don't know if this is something you can order in a bar and the guy will just know how to make it.
You tell me.
It is called a gorilla fart.
I am not drinking that.
I'm not drinking a gorilla fart.
No.
This is his drink of choice.
This is something that is wet, James.
A gorilla fart.
Gross.
Well,
that's his thing that he drinks.
Gorillas fart liquid, Jimmy. Yeah. I don't know if you knew that.
Gross.
Gross. It is a half and half mixture. There is no his mixer is 101 proof wild turkey.
And what is
that's his mixer?
What else is in it?
151 rum.
No way.
The Puerto Rican rum, the 151 Bacardi.
151 and
151 Bacardi, and then his mixer is 101 proof wild turkey.
Oh my God, that's
wild turkey has the two different.
That doesn't
they have
even,
the 100 proof and they have the 80.
That doesn't even stop being flammable when it comes out of your dick.
He could set his piss on fire and burn a house down.
Wow.
This is
insane.
He
should call that Tucson Rent. Mm-hmm. That's what that drink should be called.
Gorilla fart.
Gross.
So I don't know, like I said, try everybody out there. Try going into your local establishment, wherever you go drink, and ask for a gorilla fart and see if they know what that is.
They don't go, are you fucking crazy?
You're like half and half this and that. They go, why would you want to drink that? That sounds disgusting. And just crazy.
We don't even stock 151 because that's crazy.
That's just silly. And you're going to be stupid in about 5 minutes if I give this to you. Now you think I'm going to put wild turkey in it too? No.
One part that, part that. You're going to die tonight.
What else do you want? PCP? Can I mix that in too? Maybe that'll make it more fun also. You can run around fucking breaking the place apart.
Are you going to butt chug this or are you going to snort it? Which one? Because either way, it's nuts.
So he and his temper never subsides, though. This never goes away, his temper.
No.
Omar Vizquel said of him, quote, sometimes he throws coolers around. Sometimes he breaks phones in the clubhouse. There are cookies all over the place. The guy he just throws cookies because they have cookies you eat for sugar.
He's just throwing it.
This guy is so unbelievable. He can go 3 for 3 and go into his at bat and pop out, and he's still throwing cookies around.
Wow.
So 3 for 4 is not good enough because he fucked that at bat up. Which, I fucking get that.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Shit like that, I get that. You could destroy on stage for a fucking hour, but if one joke at 20 minutes you didn't do it right, or it's just not what you thought it was, or you did a new thing on it, or you did a tag that you really didn't believe in. But my whole set is, I didn't give a fuck about the other 58 minutes because who cares? That should go well.
Yeah, but
the 2 minutes you can fix.
The difference between that and that is that there's not an audience actively going, you're not going to get us to laugh. You know what I mean? Genuinely.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Generally, that's
true.
what's
There's
happening.
no one against you in comedy.
He has a guy actively trying to keep him to swinging.
No, everything's set up for you in comedy, I'm saying. But yeah, obviously that. But
this is nuts.
I get the idea of not being satisfied with your performance.
You're batting 750 today.
I've done a lot of Friday Night Late shows where I'd rather have people throwing 95-mile-an-hour fastballs at me. I'm sorry. Those people were way fucking more hostile than any competitive sports environment I've ever fucking seen. They were drunker. They were more violent.
Right.
We've had...
They're calling me the N-word. I'm clearly...
Yeah. What the fuck? It's crazy. So, yeah, he's an interesting guy. Now, Albert, he says, no, not anymore. Yeah. It's not me. He says, quote, in the past, I've tended to overreact. I was sure I'd be a superstar by the time I was 21. Baseball messed up my plan of life. When I fail, I get upset. Sometimes I get upset too quickly without thinking of consequences. While in the clinic, I discovered I had problems with concentration, motivation, attitude, and temper. I have found a new way of life through the clinic's program and a 12-step recovery plan. Mm-hmm. So that's his deal.
I'm good now.
I'm good now. Yeah. I've done everything. I'm fine.
But he's got a 12-step program.
He's got a 12-step program for anger and for his alcohol.
That brings Jesus into it.
Well, he's always had Jesus. Baptist. He's a hardcore Baptist. So do you bring up anything, find a higher power, he's like, fucking done and done. Yeah. I've been going to church every goddamn week. I'm a Baptist. I understand I'm going to burn at some point.
I get it.
For something I've done. Now, 1991 starting, he said, new fucking leaf.
Yeah.
New Albert Belle.
Yeah.
Now it's going. He says, quote, people are finally seeing the real Albert Belle at the major league level. I did it in the minor leagues. Now I hope to do it in the majors. He said, and then his manager here, John McNamara, says he can do it. Yeah. He's going to be the big thing in Cleveland. It's going to help this lineup. He says Belle is like Cecil Fielder and Jose Canseco, guys like that. When he hits them, it doesn't matter what ballpark he's in. I would not say I've been surprised. This is the first time I've seen the real Albert Belle, the one that everybody's been talking about. You can honestly say that about him. When he's on, there is not a hitter who's better than him.
Yeah.
I mean, he's as good as anybody when he's hitting.
And as a casual fan, like there was a point when, and he wasn't like drafted. It was like, oh my God, they got them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where a lot of guys, when they get drafted or brought up, it's a big fucking deal. It wasn't that big of a deal for him.
He was a second-round pick.
Right. There was a point when he became like...
He's not Ken Griffey Jr.
Right.
Ken Griffey Jr., from the day he stepped out. I was going to say, I was trying to go back. I was going to say on a major league. No, in high school. No, probably before. From the day he stepped out in Little League, he had pressure. Yep. He was branded.
Yep.
People knew who he was.
Right.
His dad's a major leaguer. His dad's a World Series champion.
Right.
He's the next guy. I mean, it was anointed, just like Barry Bonds.
Yeah.
But he's less of an asshole.
Baseball fans, you hear the name Junior, you know who you're talking about.
That's it.
And very similar. I mean, NASCAR is the same way with Dale Earnhardt's boy.
Yeah.
When you hear the word Junior, it creates a specific person.
Except one guy can run and hit and throw, and the other guy just drives. So it's
my
kind
point
of
is just that Albert Belle is not him.
It's not him at all. Yeah, So he says that he wished people would stop talking about his past difficulties. It's over and done with.
Okay.
He said the results will speak for themselves. 1990 is over. This is 91.
Okay.
Bitch. He didn't say bitch, but he should have. That's what he was trying to say. Grace.
Yeah.
It's Grace.
Is
right
it
now.
Really?
Let's call it Grace. Not on his career.
No.
But on his... right now, if he stopped being a dick and just fucking... not even had to be... doesn't have to be a great guy. He doesn't have to shake hands and kiss babies, because I get that. I don't
just
fucking
continued
do that shit
here
either.
and coasted.
But just coasted and did the bare minimum and played the game as hard as he could. Fucking Hall of Famer, probably, and a lot of other things. He'd have twice as much money from endorsements because he'd be a huge star. Instead, this is the grace on kind of on his reputation and everybody giving him kind of the benefit of the doubt. We're like, oh, well, maybe he was just immature.
He's got opportunity.
Nope, he just keeps fucking it up. May 11th, 1991. So he's Albert now, right? So somebody in the crowd, a guy named Jeff Pillar, would obviously read that he went to rehab and he had a drinking problem and that he wants to be called Albert. So what he does is Albert, this fan, keeps chanting Joey at him and inviting him to a keg party after the game. Hey, Joey, why don't you come to my keg party? We're going to get shit-faced. Come on, Joey.
Clever.
That's it.
Dude, it.
This is nothing.
No.
Anyone who's ever played, if you've ever talked to a baseball player, that's the best thing to ask him, because people always ask a comic that, what's the fucking heckle? It's stupid with comedy. Nobody heckles anything good.
No.
They just say something about what you just said, and then so it doesn't make sense. Baseball fans plan heckles.
They're great at it.
They plan in Yankee Stadium. The whole fucking right field would get together to learn a Japanese insult for Ichiro when he first came over. And a bunch of guys who don't speak Japanese,
a bunch of Italians
would
from
chant from the Bronx and fucking Brooklyn and Queens would chant Japanese things at this guy. And Ichiro said he was impressed by it. He's like, that's fucking dedication. He turned around like, Jesus.
What are you, Puerto Rican? That
Not
was
bad.
great.
Hey, look at you guys. All right. Nice.
You skipped the parade for that? Nice.
This is nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember any ball player you talk to, they've been heckled like crazy. People are bored. They have nothing else to do. They heckle.
Yeah.
So instead of Albert just ignoring him, he turns around. He gets a foul ball and picks it up and turns around and fucking fires this ball at the fan.
What?
Who is 15 feet away from him and in the stands and hits him right in the fucking chest with it.
Wow.
Just drills him with it.
You could stop a man's heart from that.
Oh, yeah. You cannot throw a and also, you could not hit him and hit a fucking old lady in the skull.
That's a good point, too.
Come on, dude. You can't do. There's children everywhere.
Yeah.
There's women, there's children, there's old people. You can't be firing baseballs into crowds. That's crazy. That's fucking crazy.
If all works well, you drilled a man in the sternum with a baseball.
Yeah, a fan.
Yeah.
Who's an idiot, obviously.
Who didn't do anything necessarily wrong.
He's being a dick, but I mean, that's kind of standard. That's standard stock dick fare.
So
that's
he likes the other team.
He's not shouting the N-word at him or something like that. He's taunting him with things that are relevant to his own personal shit.
It's very specific.
Not what he is, who he is. Right. You know what I'm saying?
It's very specific.
And his baseball card said Joey the year before. Literally 1990, his baseball card said Joey.
Maybe he didn't get the news, Al.
Yeah, well, he got it. So, that's why he was being a dick. So he's suspended a week for this, which I feel like you should be suspended more for firing a ball into the crowd. Anything where you physically go after a fan, I would think they go, hey, those are the people that,
pay our bills.
The game is for. Like, those are the only people we should really give a shit about. It'd be like the chef getting mad and like stabbing a fucking patron of a restaurant. Like, yell at the waiter. You want changes on your shit, and coming out and punching the guy.
Pouring boiling water in your lap.
Can't do that. So
that's fascinating though that he didn't get sued for that. Well, I mean, all right, well,
he's going to get sued for that
because he's already wrong in the first place, and the majors have deemed that for sure by suspending him.
That's the thing, and he's going to get sued by, and also, but the thing is, they have their own publicity people, the majors, and I can't believe this was in the paper, but like 2 days after that, it comes out that the guy, Pilar here, who was hit by Albert Belle, has an outstanding warrant against him and is an ex-convict.
Oh, who gives a shit? So
they do this whole expose on this guy. They say he filed an official police report and, to file charges against Albert Belle, and while processing the report, they ran a check and found out he had an 89 warrant out him from 1989 filed by an ex-girlfriend. It charged that he drove his car into the woman's car, rammed a fence, and threatened to kill her.
So he had a bad break.
So I don't know what was going on there, but I just saw that happen through my mind. And the fact that it happened so long ago and everybody was fine made me just laugh at a man crashing a car, even though it must have been a scary experience for the poor woman here. Enough to where this guy gets arrested for it.
By my count, there's at least one person that's jacked that Albert Belle threw a ball in his chest.
Yeah, get that dick.
Like, yeah, good. It's about time he gets some payback.
He says that incident never occurred. Warrant must be a computer error, is what he says. That's what he tells the press. I don't know what you're talking about. They also show that he served 5 months in state prison for a breaking and entering conviction in 1975. I don't know what you mean. I've never been to prison.
75.
75. Shit. Jesus Christ. I know what you mean. 75. Goddamn.
Yeah.
Which he would have had to have been young too, because he's 33 in 1991.
Oh Jesus!
So that would mean he would have been 17. He would have had to go to jail then. So I don't know. Whatever. I don't know what's it matter. It's not like he was committing a crime. Right. He wasn't committing domestic violence. Albert Belle saw it and threw a baseball at him to thwart it. That would be relevant then if they said, well, shit, he threw a baseball at him to stop him from doing another crime. Right. That would be a terrible superhero, by the way.
Just somebody that whips baseballs.
Throwing baseballs at
that's
you.
That's a pretty good one.
It could be pretty good. He hit him right in the chest.
Yeah. As long as he's got good aim, it's a great superhero.
Albert thwarts the fucking crimes by whipping a baseball at somebody. So 1991, the Indians, this is the depths here, 57-105. 105 losses is obscenely terrible. That's so fucking bad. Absolutely bad.
Even if you go on like an 8-game winning streak,
you're still shit.
You lose 16 to make up for it.
Done.
Ouch.
They fire John McNamara and hire Mike Hargrove, the old single-A manager who suspended him before. This is Sandy Alomar, Paul Sorrento, Carlos Baerga, Glenn Allen Hill, Kenny Lofton coming up now. Okay. This is different. Glenn Allen Hill, by the way, I don't know if I told this story about the clogs. Ever told this story? Rod Beck, the pitcher, we were talking one day about people, and somehow Glenn Allen Hill came up. I don't know if you were watching a game and he was on, or somehow Glenn Allen Hill came up and he goes, I like this motherfucker. He's crazy. And I go, really? He goes, yeah, man. He goes, Rod tells me, came in the clubhouse one day with some like wooden shoes on and shit. I go, what the fuck are those, man? And he goes, everybody was making fun of him, and they were clogs that he got. I guess he went over to Amsterdam, and he had wooden clogs that he was fucking wearing.
And he wore them for real.
He wore them for real to the clubhouse and thought they were cool. And so Rod, because Rod's a really nice guy, and people were everyone was breaking his balls about these clogs because it's ridiculous. Yeah. So Rod said he felt terrible and went up and was like, I think they're fucking sweet, dude. He goes, I think they're pretty fucking, I think they're pretty fucking smooth, bro. Like, he was like just trying to, he felt bad for him, and the guy was getting picked on, so he went over to
what are those, Redwood? I like those.
He went over to try to not pick on him, like some kid who was getting picked on. He's like, oh man, your shirt's cool. Your house isn't bad. Your mom's not a whore. Like
he's 16. He's like, I like Disney too.
He did one of those. So then Rod puts his finger up in 1 second, goes in his bedroom, and I hear him fucking shuffling shit around, shit falling and zippers coming. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? He comes out with a pair of wooden clogs out of his bedroom.
He bought a pair.
He goes, next day, the motherfucker came in with a pair for me, man. He goes,
they've been in my closet buried under all kinds of shit ever since.
He just came in and was like, put him on in his locker, and he was like, yeah, he's like nodding, like, and he was like, he opened him up, and he's like, he said he liked him, man, so I hooked you up too, and he's like, thanks.
Oh
like,
no,
I got wooden clogs. So he had wooden clogs. So that's Glen Allen Hill wears wooden clogs. It's like, the point of that fucking story.
It's like being in the locker room and a dude's wearing a thong, and you're like, nah, dude, I'm sure it's comfortable.
Yeah, no, that's all right.
I got you one too.
Check it out. Boom, it's got flowers on it. Like it, right? It's pretty sweet.
Tomorrow,
this is what he did, but he said next day he came in, fucking pair of clogs for Rod. There you go, man. I got you a pair, Chief. Right size and everything.
I drive around all day trying to find the only store that sells that shit.
He knew the clog store, and then somehow
and Rod's size.
That's the thing. You can ask the equipment guy, hey, what size he wear. You can just go look in his locker. They have a shitload of fucking cleats and shit. But at that point, then that's a night game. You got to go the next day before you have to be at the ballpark. You have to stop on the way at the clog store. And have them carve you up a size fucking 11 and a half.
If he didn't buy them overseas, then he definitely knows where that store is already anyway.
He got Rod a pair of clogs. It was the craziest shit ever. And he goes, I mean, nice guy. He's like, but fuck, what a nut. He gave me
those
clogs.
Have got to be so expensive.
And uncomfortable. They're made of wood.
But
that's not exactly Air. Nike Air. There's no Nike Ashwood fucking.
They've got to be expensive
Nike Maple.
To support a brick and mortar store for the amount that you're selling.
Who knows? Some weird store that I don't know what stores rich people shop at. Major League Baseball players. Christ, who knows? They're in another.
He had to rock those once for him, right?
I don't know. I don't think he ever wore them. I didn't even ask him, honestly.
Throw them on and wear them out to your car to say that you wore them.
Yeah, he said click, clink, clink, click, 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 click. Hi, got him on it. Click, 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 click.
Unreal.
Man, so 1991, though, bad year for Cleveland. Fine year for Albert, though. Albert plays in 123 games. Now he has 461 at-bats. So this is his coming out party here. He has a 282 batting average with 28 homers, 95 ribbies. Now we're talking.
This is when he started being known.
31 doubles. This is when they went, oh, shit.
Yeah.
And
who's that kid?
Indians got a bargain, $130,000 for that season.
Wow.
That is a fucking bargain, man. I'm telling you. Now, 1992, at this point, this is another criminal incident that was not anywhere to be found. Mm-hmm. I only found it from a lawsuit deposition from 1995. He was here, convicted of assault in 1992. Yeah. He's arrested, convicted of assault, and fined $1,000 and sentenced to 1 year probation, in 92. Somehow, I don't know how the fuck you'd keep that quiet.
Yeah, but
look for it. It's hard to
James, of events where he lost his mind so bad that somebody got hurt.
Oh yeah. This is what he does.
That's his thing.
He's got an anger problem, man. He is like, wow. It's crazy. So 1992 season though comes up here. 92 he is that whole bullshit. 92 he plays in 153 games, 585 at bats, 260 batting average, 34 homers, 112 ribbies.
He's great.
That's big shit. Yeah. He's a star now. That's a big deal. Makes $175,000 for that season. So again,
how old is he?
Bargain. Christ, at this point, 92? Yeah, 24.
24 years old. And he's talking about how I was supposed to be a superstar by 21. You're a superstar.
25 he would be around.
Even still.
Yeah.
4 years late? Fuck you, dude.
25, yeah, 20. If you want to be a superstar by 21, that doesn't happen that often. It's
unrealistic expectations.
Exactly, especially in baseball.
Right,
baseball in the major leagues. There's how many people have been superstars by 21? Bob Feller, Ken Griffey. I can name like fucking 6 of them. It doesn't happen very often. It just doesn't. And baseball takes a while.
And he was that proud of himself.
Yeah, Alex Rodriguez was that big of a star when he was that age. He came out when he was 19. Yeah,
there's nobody.
There's not really a lot of them like that. I mean, there's a bunch, but I mean, it's not a ton. 21. You take seasoning in baseball.
When you're talking about
to learn how to hit a slider.
Right. There's a lot that are 21 that are good.
Yeah.
Superstar level, no.
Most of the time, just you don't get to the majors before you're 21. You don't even see the majors. They keep you down there. So even if you came out of high school, maybe they'll bring you up when you're 22, 23. They keep you down for 5 years. If you come out of college, they still give you 2 years and you come up when you're 23, 24.
Albert was real proud of himself.
Yeah. So, but yeah, he's fine. Makes $175,000 for the 92 season. So not bad. 1993, 76 and 86, the team is under Hargrove. This is now they got Jim Tomei in the lineup and guys like that. Now they're forming that 90s Cleveland lineup that we all kind of saw in the playoffs every year.
Really hit homers.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, this is when ping pong becomes an issue. Number one, they get a ping pong table at the request of Albert. They get a ping pong table in the clubhouse, and they had that ping pong table till 2010 when I saw an article that they were taking the ping pong table out of the clubhouse.
And they got it because of Albert Belle.
Because of Albert Belle, because he really likes ping pong a lot.
Oh,
and he's very competitive at it, and we'll talk about this. So competitive that one night they were out after the game. They went to a bar. There's a bar that had ping pong tables, which seems like a terrible idea.
It seems like there's only a couple of those bars.
That and anytime you mix alcohol with competitive physical activity, I feel like that's a bad thing. You're asking for bad shit. Anytime there's one of those punch things or, one of those hoop shooting, you're asking for people to punch each other.
Halls. You're putting a weapon in somebody's hand right away.
But at least it's a calm game. You can't play pool amped up.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
But every fucking bar scene when there's a fight in a movie, it involves a pool stick.
But I've never ever seen anyone out of breath from a pool game. Is what I'm talking. Whereas ping pong, once you get that blood flow and you're gumping, you're going back and forth, and then this guy says, it didn't hit the table, you say it did, and you're like, fuck you, and then you
gumping.
You smash. You know what I mean?
I got it.
You know what I'm saying?
But my point is just you're putting a weapon in somebody's fucking hand.
But it's a calm game, at least. You're not mixing adrenaline with it.
I'm just comparing ping pong with a weapon in your hand to pool with a weapon.
You're trading an adrenaline for weaponry, because there's no adrenaline with pool, but there's a weapon.
But there's weaponry in ping pong.
That's
crazy.
Let's talk about it. Not the ball.
No.
The paddle can be.
Those can hurt, bro.
Well, let's see if it hurts.
They're solid.
Want to find out if they hurt? There's a guy named William Kelly who knows if it hurts or not. He's a 6 foot tall, 140-pound man from Maryland.
Oh, my God.
And he says, quote, "The bartender pointed out Kenny Lofton and Albert Belle to us." This is, by the way, from a book. It's a book about Albert Belle, him being a dick. I'll post about it. I can't remember the name of it right now. It's pretty funny stuff. So he said it's a whole book about him being a dick. He didn't write it. I don't know if you're surprised about that, but yeah. He says, this guy, William Kelly, said, "The bartender pointed out Kenny Lofton and Albert Belle to us. I referred to Belle as Joey a couple times to get his attention, just because, like I said, Joey Belle. Right. We were playing ping pong. Belle and Lofton were playing foosball. When we finished playing, they came over to use the ping pong table. They had next on the ping pong table."
Got it.
So weird. It's like a game room.
Yeah.
He came over and said, "You don't know who you're messing with." Then he jabbed me with the paddle. He called me a punk and hit me again. I was very intimidated. I was in shock. He hit me. Bam, bam. I was terrified. That's what the guy said.
He was being for real. You don't know who you're fucking with.
You don't know who you're fucking with. Right. And he started beating him with the ping pong paddle.
Did he jab him with it? Because
he poked him in the chest. Then he started whacking him with the ping pong paddle. So, yeah, Belle, this is fucking great. He says there was a confrontation, but he says that he didn't hit him. But according to the police report, Kelly was treated in a nearby emergency room for 2 small lacerations, one on his forehead and one on the bridge of his nose.
Oh, he was chopped with that fucking thing.
Absolutely. And Belle says, quote, "They were 4 nerds." That's the way Belle describes them. Quote, "His 3 friends were calling me Albert, but he kept calling me Joey. I bumped him with the paddle. I was just explaining to him that my name was not Joey. If I would have hit the guy, I wouldn't have hit him with the plastic tip of the ping pong paddle." So yeah, that's what he did. He was whacking him with the ping pong paddle like a dick. So it's going to come out more and more, the assholeness here.
It sounds like that guy may have been ribbing him a bit, though.
He was being a dick too. Once again, valid.
Right.
But.
Right.
you're a huge guy. And you say, get the fuck out of here before I twist your fucking head off and spike it on the ground and use it as a ping pong ball.
Why don't you leave before I beat you with a ping pong paddle?
Or if you're a high profile guy, you can't even fucking, you know what, dude, you have to be smarter than that. You got to go, where's the bouncer? This guy's being a dick to me. Can you get him the fuck away from me before I beat the shit out of him with this ping pong paddle?
A lot more booze than them. I drink gorilla
I'm sorry,
farts.
dude. And by the way, and a round of gorilla farts when you're done. Gorilla farts for everybody.
My drink is much more expensive than the Miller Lite.
Yeah, I'm tired of this shit. You have to. You can't. I get that you want to be a normal person, but you're on TV every fucking day. It's difficult to be a normal person because people might look to try to bait you, especially if they know you have a temper. That's the thing. So, 1993, though, great year. 159 games played, 594 at bats. He leads the majors with 129 RBI. He hits 290 with 38 home runs, 129 ribbies. Absolutely. 23 steals, too. Yeah. Stolen bases, 23. Really? Fucking speed out the ass. 36 doubles. He's 7th in the MVP voting. Yeah. He wins the Silver Slugger, which is best hitter at your position, and he's an all-star that year.
Jesus,
huge. That's a coming out party. Yeah. He's also this year he plays left field this year and leads the AL in outfield assists, left field outfielder assists, throwing guys out from the outfield, which is. He has 16. That shows you have a cannon. That's a lot. He's first in the league there. And also leads in double plays turned as an outfielder. So catching a ball, throwing a guy out, trying to take a base on you.
And then getting another guy.
Yeah, the guy going from, he's tagging up at third or tagging up at a base and you throw him out. So guys tried to tag up on him because they didn't know he had an arm.
Unbelievable.
So you have to establish yourself like that and then you can, guys know not to run on you. It's one of those things. It's like, you have to make a couple of really good throws and then guys slam on the brakes when they round that base a little bit. So September, that's there. So, that was the Joey thing. Now that year though, he makes $1,675,000. Now you're talking. It's good stuff here. Now, Albert has a couple of things that he doesn't do. And this will explain something later. He says, quote, in baseball, I don't fraternize with players when it's time to hit. I'm preparing for the game. It's the most important time of the day. And I know if I don't hit, I won't have a job in the big leagues. That's why I tend to get very upset when people try to talk to me. Okay, he's focused, man. This is my job. Leave me the fuck alone. I'm focusing on hitting the ball. That's what I'm thinking about. I can spell words backwards. I got to focus, though, to do this shit.
I'm speed reading some bitch.
That's right. He says, quote, I notice a lot of hitters fraternize with pitchers. I see guys laughing and giggling before the game. These are the same pitchers who are trying to beat them. I've never seen Roger Clemens talking to hitters before the game. Bob Gibson was the same way. Man, I don't even see Greg Maddux playing golf with hitters. So he's saying the great pitchers don't fucking dick around with the hitters and hang out and fraternize with these hitters because they're trying to get them out. And you got to keep that killer instinct competitive. Some guys don't need that. Some guys can separate it. They can get when it's time to hit, when you step in the box, then they're killers, and when they step out of the box, they can smile. Some guys can do that, and some guys need to be a certain way all the time. They need to be a dick. They need to be focused. They need to be killers.
It's a great point too, because with free agency and such, who knows if that guy's even going to be on your team tomorrow? You know what I mean? Why be friends with them? They may not be gone. No.
He's not talking about on his team. Well, he's talking about his team before the game, but he's talking about opposing pitchers and hitters fraternizing
with
each other. Well, you see that all the time. Before games, you'll see guys always talking, running around, bullshitting, fraternizing. Yeah, because guys know each other. They're from the same place. They played high school together. They played in the minors before they were traded away from different places. They played in college together. They know
they live
each other.
The same lifestyle. That's the only guy that can relate to you.
They run into each other. They know each other from shit. They might have played with the guy. Like I said, they might have been college roommates for a year and a half. They might have played in the minors for 2 years together.
It's just an interesting dichotomy too. Yeah, that's the only way. That's the only way you can really relate to life. Is seeing somebody that lives your lifestyle and. I don't know.
You see guys
I can
in
see
football,
it both ways, I guess.
You see football all the time.
They're
physically trying to hurt each other, and you see before the game, hey, what's up, man? Blah, blah, blah. They fucking know each other. It's the same shit, but in baseball, at least you're not trying to hurt the guy.
Right.
I would assume, but it's still the same competitive, whatever. So late 1994 comes around. That's the strike shortened season, if we remember. What a fucking nightmare that was. Late 1994. Okay, he hits a home run against the White Sox, and then starts flexing his biceps and pointing to his all. You remember how he used to do that shit? Well, Chicago's manager says he got a tip that Albert's bat was corked. So he asked the umpires to check the bat for cork. Right? So the bat is taken, and it is obviously, if you don't know about corking bats, people aren't sports fans, you can hollow out some of the bat in the middle and put cork in it, replace it with wood, making it a lot lighter. And well, yeah, it's mainly just light. You get better bat speed, and you can hit the ball farther.
That's it.
That's it. Yeah.
I thought they popped harder off of it too. That
can kind of
more spring, right?
Not really. That's all the players that used it just go, it's for fucking bat speed, man. If you get more bat speed, it's more pop. So it's kind of one or the other.
I think I'd want a slower, heavier bat, because it's the follow through that matters.
No, it's all bat speed.
Really?
Everything in bat. If you look at the biggest home run hitters, it's all bat speed. They used to show when Mark McGwire in like 98, 99, when he was hitting 70 home runs in 98, they used to show bat speed on the side because they would talk about it. But then he would have, his bat speed would be 15 miles an hour higher than anybody else.
Wow.
It's all about bat speed. Has nothing to do. Guys, you don't see guys with looping slow swings.
That's a good point.
It's bat. And even if they look like it, watch where the bat moves. The bat is quick through the zone. It's all about bat speed. That's how the game is.
I suppose that makes sense.
Yeah, it's just physics of it. You need more speed to. If you had now, mind you, if you hit the ball with a fucking with a 57-ounce bat or some shit, then the weight of the bat.
That's my point.
Would drive the ball, but you could never get the ball around. You couldn't get the bat around on a 97-mile-an-hour pitch like that. Doesn't work.
When you're talking about a rod of cork down the center of it, it's not like a super thin wall of the bat.
No, it's very little cork.
Small.
It's very little. I mean, it's just to take that. It's an extra little edge. It really doesn't matter that much.
A couple
honestly.
Ounces off of it.
It's like Babe Ruth used to swing a bat that was like a fucking railroad tie.
Right.
I remember the one time before a game because they were talking about it was some anniversary or some Babe Ruth thing. So they had a Babe Ruth bat and they went around to a bunch of major leaguers and had them.
It's like
hold it.
It's like Bam Bams from the fucking Flintstones.
Yeah, and they gave it to Mark McGwire, who's obviously at the time was roided out of his mind and enormous, and he held it and he went, "Good God!" I couldn't hit a little league pitcher with this thing. He goes, "This is the heaviest thing I've ever felt in my life." He goes, I wouldn't know how. I don't even know how you could hit anybody with this. No less hit 60 home runs.
It's because Babe Ruth was a big fat fuck.
Well, he had the shortest little. He had like a Joe Frazier left hook. His swing. It was like from here to here, and it was amazing.
And he just
nobody else could do it.
Fat behind it.
That's it. It was Also, he had his good hips. He'd turn his hips. He did. He had to turn those hips on him. It's all about hips and bat speed, my friend. So
it was just amazing to hear you talk about his hips.
Hey,
and his good hips.
He turned them, man. Not sexy.
And his hot hips.
Although he was he's a thick bitch and a little sexy.
He was.
But you know what I'm saying? So now the umpires take the bat, lock it in the umpires' room to have it examined after the game. So while this is going on, basically everybody knows that Belle corks his bats on the team. Like it's a thing that they know. He corks his bats. So they send Jason Grimsley. I don't know. This came out a while ago. This is a fucking great story. Jason Grimsley's a relief pitcher. I think at the time he was a starter. Kind of middle of the road guy who hung around for a good number of years though.
Sacrificial lamb.
They sent him down through literally Die Hard style.
Wow.
Down through the air ducts.
Get that bat.
It was the umpire's office was in the basement, like underground, where a lot of the clubhouses are and shit. Kind of the bowels of the stadium.
In the 6th inning, they're pulling out the blueprints of the stadium.
Yeah. No, they sent him through the ductwork with a bat in his hand to replace it with, mind you, because they can't just steal the bat. So he says they go through this. He says he went through a maze of ductwork and ceiling tiles in Comiskey Park here. Yeah. He said, quote, Grimsley says, "My heart was going 1,000 miles an hour." He said, "I got there." He goes, "And into the umpire's dressing room I went. I just rolled the dice, a crapshoot." He says that he dropped from the top of the refrigerator to a counter and down into the office.
Like a cat.
Like a cat burglar. He saw Belle's bat sitting there, so he exchanged it for Paul Sorrento's bat, who apparently doesn't cork his bat, although his bat says Paul Sorrento on it rather than Albert Belle, but that's a separate issue.
Same color.
Yeah, he could have said, "Hey," they said it, they weren't identical, but at that point, what are they going to say? Somebody broke in through the ceiling and fucking stole it? You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Who the fuck? Come on. So he said they had to replace it with one of Sorrento's because all of Belle's bats were corked. So
Every one of them.
All of them. So you couldn't replace with one of his. So anyway, he ended up being suspended for 7 games. Albert Belle did. It was reduced from 10. And Omar Vizquel said about it, quote, guys were saying, oh my God, the bat is corked. My response was, what? I felt a little bit like the way I felt when I first heard the true identity of the Tooth Fairy. I can be naive at times, but I'm not stupid. Certainly not stupid enough to steal Albert's cork bat and replace it with one that looked completely different, one that was autographed by Paul Sorrento because it has his signature on it. That wasn't even a nice try. The problem, of course, was that all of Albert's bats were corked. That's what he said too. So that's why he got suspended. They knew that there was a switcheroo because how is it out Paul Sorrento's bat now? We saw the bat. We saw it said Albert Belle on it. Now it doesn't. Come on, dude. Jesus Christ. Get it together.
Not just the name. He said it looked completely different. So he's using the white one and
this is not the same bat. The black one. It's just a different bat. Yeah, it's a different tape on the handle, all sorts of different shit.
It's hilarious.
Ridiculous. But 94, the strike shortened year. He plays in 106 games. He has, Jesus Christ, a 357 batting average.
Unreal.
Which doesn't win him the batting title. Paul O'Neill's was 359 that year.
Oh, damn it.
Lost it to Paul O'Neill's, one of my favorite players. I love another guy who just destroyed the dugout with a bat when he struck out.
What a player.
But he's a great player. Yeah, same thing. Good arm, right fielder, hell of a player, average power. Albert, better player here. 36 home runs that year for Albert. So now the last 3 years, 34, 38, 36 in homers.
Consistent.
Yeah, he's a mid-30s guy. 101 ribbies because there's not a lot of time to get a lot of ribbies. He's an all-star, third in the MVP voting and winner of the Silver Slugger again, and recipient of $2,775,000.
Now you're talking.
As a salary. So 95 is when he really gets crazy. This is when he get the better he gets on the field, the crazier he is off the field. That's what I don't understand. It's not like when his talent he starts to go downhill and then he can't take it and he acts out. No, the more he can get away with it, the more he does it. That's what makes me say he's more of an asshole that I don't want to like him because he does what he can get away with. When he's home with his mom and dad, he's going to act like a nice kid because he doesn't want to get his ass whooped. When he's in college, he can get away with a little more, but not too much more, and he'll still try hard. Once he's making millions of dollars and is the star of the team and he's needed, then fuck you, I'll do whatever I want.
I mean, at what point do you get to do that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hope we can get there soon.
$3 million in Cleveland.
I'd love to.
At $3 million in Cleveland, you are a fucking sultan.
You should be a partner in the team for that much money back then. What the fuck were they worth?
You should be passing laws at minimum.
Yeah, they didn't even have the new stadium then. They had that shit, what was it, or what the fuck was the name of it?
It was
Cleveland.
Municipal
Stadium, I think it was. Yeah.
There's probably a pool in that. I
think it was.
That you could get into for 75 cents.
Oh, I'd like a rusty jungle gym you could play on. Kids would get fucking tetanus on and shit. So 95, 144 for the Indians.
Wow.
Big turnaround from the strike year. It's a short season too because it started late because of the strike. The Indians here, they go on and they sweep the Red Sox in the divisional series in the playoffs. By the way, the Red Sox also Albert Belle hit a home run and they had his bat pulled and tested.
Those bastards.
And it actually wasn't corked this time. So I think he learned he couldn't do that anymore.
Or he had a dummy one.
Or he was smart enough to have backups.
You can search this one.
Where's Grimsley? Get the blueprints out. You got Fenway blueprints here. Then they win they beat the Mariners in 6 games. That was after the Mariners beat the Yankees and broke my heart as a teenager. Don Mattingly's first time going to the playoffs, and they killed it. And then they go all the way to the World Series.
Really?
And against the Braves. They do. That year, that year he had 143 games played. Like we said, the season was a little short. He hits 317. Listen to these fucking stats. 50 home runs, 126 RBI, 52 doubles, 121 runs. Wow. That is obscene.
Yeah.
Obscene.
He got around 121 times?
Yeah, that's what I mean. And then drove in 126. Well, 50 of them are both because that's a run and an RBI. But Jesus Christ, 52 doubles? Thing about that is doubles become home runs with power. Guys who hit a lot of doubles, not a lot of home runs. It's like, man, if he had a little more power, those shots to the alley would be over the wall. That's how it goes. Normally, that means he's just crushing shit deep to the alleys. The home runs, doubles, just ripping balls everywhere. That's awesome. Very, very impressive. He's the first player ever in the major leagues to hit 50 homers and 50 doubles in the same season. Ever.
Still today.
Never. I don't know if today, but he's the first player at the time that never happened before. The first to fucking do it, which is incredible.
Yeah.
Had one of the greatest years in the history of baseball here. Was an all-star, second in the MVP voting. Does not get MVP for that.
Unreal.
Mo Vaughn.
Nobody's ever done it before.
No, Mo Vaughn.
Mo Vaughn gets it.
Mo Vaughn gets it. Silver Slugger.
We should probably do one on him, too. He's kind of a dick.
I don't know about criminality, though, on him. He's the Sporting News Player of the Year and Baseball Digest Player of the Year. He says, Albert says, if you told me I was going to hit 50 home runs, I'd have probably laughed at you. It's been a Cinderella storybook season. So in the World Series, though, they lose to the Braves 4-2. That's all those great Braves teams. That's the one that actually won the goddamn World Series. They had to beat the Indians. This year they had Manny Ramirez in there. They got Eddie Murray for a minute this year also. This was a stacked team. Not too bad. Now, 1995, during the World Series, before Game 3, there's batting practice, and Belle, like we said, doesn't like people talking to him during batting practice.
Shut your fucking mouth.
Now, it's the World Series, though, and so the World Series is a media circus, and especially
there's going to be some chatter.
There's a lot, and there's a lot of media members because the TV does pregame shit and stuff like that, so there's interviews in the dugout, and those are going, and they're all scheduled, and this has been set up by they don't just bum rush the dugout and go, talk to me, and stick microphones in people. They're set up through PR people. I get this guy for this long, I get that guy for that long. So there's a bunch of media members there, including Hannah Storm, who NBC reporter, and she's been around forever. Great reporter.
Done sports since the fucking around then.
She's really 92. Good. Yeah, she's really does her shit really well. She took a lot of shit because she's one of the first kind of big time female sports people. So she did take a lot of shit. She says about the incident. Well, let's let her describe it. Quote: initially, he screamed at all the media to get out of the dugout in language that was horrible. 2 or 3 of the men left. They were frightened. I was the only one who stayed because I was waiting to do an interview with Kenny Lofton. When I stayed, he directed his tirade at me. I've been told by baseball people that their hands are tied on this because they know he will appeal any action taken. In light of the fact that Major League Baseball promised swift action after the World Series, I'm very disappointed. I was hoping that baseball would send a message that verbal abuse and intimidation is not tolerated in the workplace. So he just yells at her, calls her every fucking name in the book. He said he doesn't think he should be fined or suspended for this.
Why?
He says, quote, if that's what Bud Selig wants to do, I'll just tell him that's bullshit if I have to be suspended for trying to get back some space that he as commissioner should have given us in the first place. No, it's the World Series, dude.
It's your job.
That's part of it, man. It's just part of it. It sucks. That's the thing. Again, I get it. I get it that's annoying, and I get that you'd be like, man, fuck, I just want to hit my but you can't.
There's an all-day
you're
media
a professional, dude.
Fucking day.
You're just a professional. You have to
for the
at that
Super Bowl.
point.
You've got a few minutes before each game that you got to talk.
You have to, man.
You got to make it a fucking story.
So he says, now Bell is later on, he's fined $50,000 in order to undergo psychiatric counseling. I don't know.
He had to have said
he never
some
did that.
Horrible
he said some
shit.
Obscene shit. Yeah, he said it was bullshit. Albert Belle was pissed. He said his agent said he agreed with his client. His agent, Bell's agent, Arn Tellem. Tell him, Arn. Arn Tellem. Literally, that's his name. Tellem. Tell him, Arn.
Arn,
tell him. He said, quote, the fine is without any precedent and is totally unjustified, but we had no choice but to accept the fine given that Selig had no remedy to go before someone neutral to hear this matter. Because, they went to Bud Selig. He was the one that decided. It would be like Marcia Clark deciding the fate of O.J. Simpson. Yeah, it's a commissioner thing. I agree with the commissioner things in sports is bullshit.
Yeah.
You can't have
an arbitrary hearing.
Well, either that or you have to have something like that. Like Roger Goodell is hired by the owners, so that's his job is to keep the owners' money in place. Has nothing to do with the players. That's why the players have their union and all that kind of shit. You can't.
Baseball's the same way.
Yeah, it's the same thing. The commissioners are hired by owners, so
he has their interests. It's a conflict of interest.
Theirs.
Crazy.
It's absolutely crazy for them to decide. It's basically he's the whim of the owners. Guess what? He's not going to stand up to the owners because guess what they'll do? Fucking fire him. It's not like he has a 10-year contract that can't be broken for any reason sent down from the mountaintop. You just hire him and fire him.
You know who does have a contract is Albert Belle, and there should be things in there and verbiage that discusses this.
Now, the Cleveland general manager, silver-haired middle-aged white man, Hart here, he says that Belle, he said later on, says Belle apologized sincerely to her. Is what he said.
Did he?
No.
He
says, Belle said that he said, quote, "You've got to stop wearing your hair like that," to Hannah Storm after the incident. "I thought you were Leslie." So he said he mistook her for someone that he didn't like. He thought she was Leslie Visser, he said. So that's how it goes.
They look entirely different.
They don't look the same. He's full of shit. He's a smart guy.
Yeah.
He also says, quote, "The Indians wanted me to make a statement of regret when the fine was announced, but I told them to take it out. I apologize for nothing." Which you gotta fucking... That's great. Then he says, quote, "I talked to the media. They just didn't like the words I gave them."
I did talk to her.
But you're a fucking cunt.
Fuck out of my dugout.
I feel like,
I fucking put something in yours.
Oh, God. So he makes $4.5 million for this season, though. So for 50 homers, 50 doubles.
And all he had to do was pay $50,000 to do it.
That's it. So the MVP vote, he doesn't get the MVP, which is crazy, honestly, for the year. And they went to the World Series and everything. And he says, quote, "Actually, I'm surprised. I know that the postseason doesn't count, but still, I'm surprised I got as many votes as I did," he said. First place votes, Mo Vaughn got 12, he got 11. So, I mean, it was close.
Was Mo playing for the Red Sox
then? Yeah, he was Red Sox then. He said, quote, "I'm kind of upset that they give baseball writers all this power when other media people who were former baseball players should be involved in the voting too. Maybe it should be 50-50 with those guys and the writers, or maybe not let the baseball writers vote at all."
I don't know, the guys that write about baseball know the most about baseball.
Well, yeah, they're there all the time.
Fucking old guys still watch every fucking game?
He's just saying that they have beefs because he's yelled at them and called them names.
Right. There's no way Hannah Storm, she probably voted for Mo.
That's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. Anyone who likes Hannah Storm and knows her and thinks she's okay. He says, "I feel like myself and the city of Cleveland are in the same boat. We're made for each other. A few years ago, everybody had bad thoughts on Albert Belle. I feel that has changed. If I had to do it again from day one of childhood, I wouldn't change a thing."
Not one
thing. I'm perfect.
5 people are injured and one Hannah Storm's feelings are hurt.
Oh, she's yeah. So
not one thing.
No, not a goddamn thing. Not even his domestic violence conviction. Nothing.
5 injured people.
So they asked him, "Why don't you speak to the media?" And he says, this is his explanation. He says, quote, "I don't get excited talking about myself. Guys such as Sandy Koufax, Joe DiMaggio, and Steve Carlton did not interview, and it was no big deal. They were quiet. I'm also quiet. I just want to concentrate on baseball. Why does everyone want to hear me talk anyway?" Well, Sandy Koufax never fired a ball into a fan's chest from 15 fucking feet away. I never remember that.
I don't know if Sandy Koufax called Hannah Storm anything horrible in front of people.
Joe DiMaggio, I'm pretty sure people yelled "filthy guinea" from the fucking stands in 1938 at him. Fucking,
and then in between innings, he banged their daughters under the stand.
That's the thing. That's what would happen there. And which, I mean, the slurs are another thing, but I mean, again, different type of situation. And Steve Carlton was just I think he was boring. Yeah. People had no interest in talking to him after a while. They're like, he's fucking boring. If Albert Belle was just boring, they'd come over, they'd get his standard, had a good game. I don't know. They'd get that quote and they'd walk away like Bill Belichick. They'd give up after a while. They wouldn't fucking do it. But
Hannah wasn't even there for him.
No, he was there for Kenny Lofton. He's like, "Hey, man, I'm getting on TV. Cut the shit out." So Halloween night 1995, okay? He shouldn't have anything to do with Halloween, being an adult and everything, but he does. His home is pelted with eggs by teenagers who were there. They knocked on the door. He said, "We're not giving out." He didn't just turn the lights off. He would open the door and say, "I'm not giving out any fucking candy." He kept the lights on, but told these motherfuckers you're not getting any candy. So,
you dick.
Guess what the implied societal thing that we've all, this is what it is.
Eggs and teepee.
If you're not giving out candy, you turn all your lights out. No one can get mad at that. That's
fuck with
fine.
Us, we fuck with you.
You turn your lights on. You invite people to fucking knock on your door, your outside light. They knock on the door. You don't have candy. And you tell them, you didn't say, "I'm sorry, I just ran out." That's another story. He said, "I'm not giving out shit. Go fuck yourself. Get off my lawn." trick or treat.
Right.
That's an implied contract. Once you open your door to children in costumes, you are consenting to this implied contract that they're going to say trick or treat, and you're consenting to that by opening the fucking door.
With your light on, you're inviting them in, and then when they do and you open the door, contract signed.
They tricked them. Right. We'll put it this way. Albert's quote is, quote, "As soon as the door closes, we hear a bombardment of eggshells on my door." A bombardment. So I come outside and chase them. As soon as I caught up with him, by the way, go outside and chase them. He doesn't mean he
14
ran after them.
He drove a car?
He got in his truck and chased them down the street. So that's what you need to understand.
Oh my God.
His next sentence has to do with him in a car, not on foot.
Okay, again though,
valid.
Yes.
Not the way to handle it.
And that's not even the point of like going after the target.
No.
It's the shrapnel that's around that you could fucking kill so many kids.
Focus. Laser focus.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Proportionality, not an issue.
Yeah.
And laser focus on his goal. Whether it's reading backwards, doing math, becoming an Eagle Scout, tying knots, being a business leader of whatever the fuck.
National Honor Society.
Getting good grades, or running down children who fucking eggs your house.
Whipping a baseball at a man's chest is not near as reckless as that.
No,
Halloween night,
this is crazy. It's dark outside. There's children everywhere.
You kill so many kids.
And I have a feeling he lives in a nice neighborhood, which probably has lots of children. You know how it is in nice neighborhoods. That's where all the kids are.
They don't live there.
People take their kids to nice neighborhoods to trick or treat. Duh, I do.
Fuck yeah.
You know, so
staying at my house.
Yeah,
you'll get nothing.
Nothing from these fucking people around me. This neighborhood's nice, but all these other neighborhoods I've ever lived in, terrible. He said, as soon as I caught up with him, I slammed on the brakes and was jumping out of the car, and I was going to run after him. Why? You gonna beat up a child? He said it was raining and it was kind of mucky back there. The truck kind of skidded or whatever, and it slid, and I bumped him with the truck.
He hit a child with a car. Unbelievable.
After chasing him with a car, not by accident. He fell down, and as soon as he fell down, he jumped back and started running. Yes, because you're a giant psychopath.
You just ran him over.
Fucking chased him with a car and hit him with it. That's not a proportional response to children hitting your house with eggs on Halloween after you just told them, I don't have candy, get off my fucking property. What the fuck?
This is legitimately the most unhinged I've ever heard of anybody.
Crazy.
We've heard of unhinged people. This is
like Barrett Robbins wrestling a gun out of a cop's hand. This is the same level of crazy and reckless. This is nuts. So, Jesus Christ. So he called the cops about this and said on the way out there, I guess he called the cops and he said, quote, "You better get someone over here because if I find one of them, I'll kill them." That's what he tells the cops on the phone. Again, just in legal advice for you, from your attorney here, from the law firm of Pietragallo and Whisman, I have to tell you a little legal advice. Don't call the cops and say who you're going to kill. That's probably a bad sign. They save all that shit and they'll remember.
Yeah.
They know. It's weird.
There was a mom that had a kid that was acting up, and she called the cops and said, if you guys don't get it here, there's going to be a 187 in this motherfucker. She said that shit on the phone to scare the kid. The cops showed up and arrested mom.
Yeah, you can't threaten murder. You just
can't. There's going to be a 187 in this motherfucker.
I will kill all my fucking children. That's what's happening here. Yeah. This is fucking crazy. Wow. He says about this after that, everything that happens, by the way, he's always the victim.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. He says, quote, "I feel like I was targeted." What do you mean, like targeting someone with your car and hitting them with it? Like that sort of target? That's a funny way to put it after you throw a baseball in a man's chest and hit a child with a car. Targeting is something you do.
You ran down a child with a truck and smacked him with it.
That's amazing.
Unbelievable.
I feel like I was targeted. It's a shame when people target athletes. No, they targeted someone who told them there was no fucking candy on Halloween when you had your lights on. Just don't answer the door. They would have went away.
You could have been a lawyer, anybody. You could have just been some dude, a goddamn Eagle Scout. It doesn't matter what your profession is today. The point is, you said no candy.
It doesn't matter. You said no candy.
We target you.
That's you.
You're just the guy.
Member contract, verbal contract, trick or treat.
That's all you are.
Opening the door on Halloween opens you up to that. Sorry. He said if they would have done the same thing to my next door neighbor and had my neighbor chase them, they wouldn't have filed a report. I think they would have. You hit him with a car. I made a decision 5 years ago to live in a community and be involved in the community, and I never expected people to harass me. They're children who threw eggs at your house on Halloween. He acts like people are like fucking chanting shit at his kid when they go to school, like they're chanting Albert sucks and putting signs on his lawn, and no.
They didn't show up on March 4th and knock in costume. This is fucking Halloween.
That would be weird.
Right.
Yeah, no one showed up. There was no cross burning on your front yard. No one heckled you with racial slurs, which that would have been.
Right.
Hey, if you're on my front lawn yelling racial slurs at me, I'm going to chase you down with my truck at that point. that would be understandable. I go, yeah, get that motherfucker. He's at your house. He could be a dangerous lunatic. These are children. This is normal. That's why they have eggs.
This is why they have Halloween.
Albert is convicted of reckless operation of a motor vehicle and fined $1,000, which seems light.
Yeah.
But they're going to sue him, so don't worry.
There you go.
They sue him. The teenager's guardian here, a woman named Sandra Abdul Razik of Cleveland Heights, is seeking $300,000 in the lawsuit, which they'll get more than that. Watch out.
Good.
Listen to this shit. All the three teenagers were found delinquent for throwing I don't know how the court is that an official declaration for throwing eggs at the house here. They were ordered to perform a community service. For that, they got community service, and during this lawsuit, they get Albert up there, and Albert, this is when all the old arrests come out.
The deposition.
Ever convicted of anything violent? Because you have a temper on you, don't you? Like, when were you convicted? Well, then he had to admit, I was convicted in 1988 of domestic violence.
Did you ever climb a wall and beat the shit out of somebody?
There's that. 92, assault conviction. Also comes out he's a gambler. It comes out that he recently lost about $40,000 gambling on sports.
What?
Which is that's
what sports?
Baseball goes, what? What was it? What? We either heard that or we didn't. I don't know.
Pete Rose is signing an autograph somewhere. Not just me.
Not just see. He said he bet on pro football, college basketball, and golf games with friends, which is, Charles Barkley style. Mm-hmm. He said that he never violated baseball rules by betting on baseball, which baseball's boring to bet on anyway. So I get that. The lawyer, his lawyer said that they're trying to make a mountain out of a molehill. The sports betting is common in locker rooms. He says, which it's absolutely common, especially
rampant.
Card games, dominoes, whatever the fuck people play. Just guys with a bunch of money and a lot of time to kill. You gamble. That's
that are competitive.
That's the other thing. Right. They're highly competitive, and it's not just you get people in a room that are bored. In the army, guys would fucking gamble with whatever they had or whatever. If you're just stuck there, you do it. It's a way to beat somebody in something and compete. He says we bet on everything: baseball, or basketball games, football games, horse racing, auto racing. It's no different than anyone else's office pool. True. He says that it's ridiculous to fucking even make this an issue unless you caught him betting on his own team in baseball. It doesn't fucking matter. This was a big deal. His lawyer said that he never gambled on baseball games, which would be obviously suspension for life worthy for baseball.
Really, it's just against your own team. That's the only thing I care about.
You can't bet for him either, because if you bet against, the point is that was the thing with Pete Rose. If you bet for your team, and then the day you don't bet for your team, you're telling everybody that day it's a tip to the gamblers.
You better bet on yourself every game.
If you bet on him 162 games, that would be a different story. Right. But the day you don't bet on him, you're telling everybody we're not going to win that day.
Right.
I don't know. The manager doesn't have confidence if it's Pete Rose. Like, that pitcher I'm starting sucks, so I'm not betting today. That's the flag. Everybody goes, did Pete bet? No, okay. And then the line changes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's one of those things.
I'm on board with that.
They don't want anybody, deep.
But betting against your team is the most.
Well, that's obviously
you better not.
Ridiculous. Yeah. So he says, his lawyer says, none of this stuff had anything to do with baseball. Absolutely none of it. His agent said so too. He said Albert's done nothing wrong or illegal. Albert Belle has never bet on a baseball game, and that's how it works. They said that the teen is injured from this whole thing. He says that he would pay in money orders of $10,000 to pay his debts. Basically, $10,000 money orders are how he would do it. Now, they said that they're talking about putting him on probation in baseball for gambling, where he can't do big gambling anymore. The baseball representative said, we'll look into the situation as we do with a lot of things, but no decision has been made. The Jerry Reinsdorf, the owner of the White Sox here, because he's going to sign with the White Sox later on, he says there's no indication that Albert bet on baseball games, so at the moment, we're not worried. They talk about, could he face criminal charges for gambling in Ohio, because it's bullshit. No. Now, this is the first time this has happened, a probationary thing, since Lenny Dykstra. Yeah. 1991, Dykstra was on probation for 1 year for testifying because he took part in high-stakes poker games. Again, who fucking cares? If guys with a lot of money want to bet on each other for poker, I don't give a shit. Bet as much as you want. I don't care. You're an adult. It's your business.
It does kind of encourage drug use, though. You know what I mean? Like illegal shit.
Yes, not high-stakes gambling game.
You don't think so?
That's all about competitive. They're drinking whiskey, smoking cigars, and shit like that.
Fucking crazy amounts of blow.
Nah, I mean, if those people are into blow, but I mean, lots of people do that aren't into blow. It's just they like gambling. Their high is
cocaine
gambling.
Goes with poker like crazy.
Oh, well, yeah, because you can stay up and do it. But I mean, I don't know if it goes with good decisions.
No.
So Belle finally reaches a settlement that for $850,000 is the agreement here. $850,000.
I'm trying to think of if
they were going to go to civil trial otherwise.
Wow.
So it's $850,000 is what he settles for.
That's a lot.
That's a big chunk.
That's huge.
So that's the best egg throwing ever. Yeah. I wish I would have thrown an egg at Albert Belle's house.
Depends on how hard he got thumped with the car.
Yeah, if he has no permanent injuries, it's great.
He did pop back up and keep running.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean? Yeah. Which, I mean, with the adrenaline of being chased by a psychopath in a car.
Leg.
Yeah, people get shot and they get up and keep running because adrenaline. So during the off season, Belle and Jose Mesa, the big closer for the team, they were the Indians' most valuable players that year, and they were to receive awards at the big Indians luncheon, and Belle never showed up. And they said, why didn't you show up? And he went, just shrugged.
He had another guy.
I don't know. No, he didn't even give an excuse. He just didn't come. Didn't show. That's it.
Yeah.
April 6th, 1996. He's still with the Indians here. Sports Illustrated photographer Tony Tomsic. Basically, Tomsic took his photo from a long range during warm-ups, and Belle had gestured to him not to take his photo, and so he still took his photo because his job is to fucking take photos of people. He works for Sports Illustrated. Wasn't right next to him with the camera in his face. He was well away from him, not bothering Albert at all. So Albert threw a baseball at him.
Oh my God.
Real fucking hard, just missed him. So,
really?
But to throw one at a fucking Sports Illustrated photographer, now you're getting crazy. Right. The press has to be able to cover the goddamn game. That's how you sell tickets.
Right.
So, this 96 doesn't start out great for Albert. The team, though, finishes 99 and 62.
Not bad.
They lose to the Orioles, though, in the divisional series. Then the Orioles lose to the Yankees, who won the World Series that year. And also this year, Albert does a Cleveland area McDonald's TV commercial. What? Look at him, for $25,000. He's going to get for that.
Is that good?
I don't know. It's one day.
Cleveland, that's pretty decent.
Well, I mean, to show up for an afternoon and go, I like Big Macs.
Is that all it is?
It's just a commercial. Yeah, So it's an early morning shoot, and it's in April, and he doesn't show up.
Oh boy.
So they say, okay, no, the next day, and he doesn't show up again. So they finally just got Mike Hargrove, the manager, to fill in, and he did it and got the $25,000 because Albert didn't want to show up and take it. So.
Best no show ever.
Absolutely.
Hargrove.
So that year, he hits his 21st home run, which who gives a shit, right? He has a lot of home runs that year. But he does hit his 21st home run, and a man named Ken Logan catches it. Okay? Now, Albert is collecting all of his home run balls. He wants them all.
Every one of them?
Wants them all, goddammit. He's started collecting everything.
Like Pokemon.
He's getting everything. Right. So Logan, the guy who caught it, didn't want to give Belle the ball. He said, well, I want a signed ball. If I give you this ball, I caught a home run ball. I want to keep it, or I'll give it to you, but give me a signed ball back. Give me something back, which is what they just always do anyway. They give you a bat, a ball, a jersey, whatever the fuck. They just give you some shit.
Cup. Just give me the ball.
They give you some shit. So he wanted the ball back. He said he's saving all the balls. He says in case he hits more home runs than Roger Maris in a season, in case he breaks that record, in case he breaks a record, he wants to have all the balls so he can, I don't know what the fuck, make a collage out of them. This is, oh my God. So he does it. The guy ends up saying, okay, he brings the ball back to Albert in the clubhouse. They bring him down there. He says that he just gave me a different baseball autographed by Albert. He said it'd be a cool souvenir. And, he said he wanted to show it to his kids and all that kind of shit. So, this is fucking funny. Albert said, no, I don't want to do that. And then he said to him, quote, no. Then he said, bye. Then he said, get lost, go away. Oh. Just give me my ball, now scram. He said, see, you wouldn't want to be what letter don't you understand, the N or the O?
Wow.
The guy should have said, fuck you, give me my fucking ball. I'll keep my ball. You can eat shit.
Samesies about the ball that you want from me,
fuck
sir.
You. So that was after he took it.
Which word don't you understand? Fuck or you?
Fuck or you. Eat or shit. Which one don't you get? Huh? Fucking dildo. So, unfucking real. He was like, what the fuck? So
Albert Belle's a piece of shit,
he's
man.
A total dick.
What a piece of garbage.
Later on, a kid asked him at one point, hey, can I have your autograph? It would really make my day. And he said, I bet it would. And he kept on trotting by.
Unbelievable.
That's the type of asshole he is. He enjoys being a dick to people. That's what I'm saying. It's not a matter of he can't help it. He likes it.
Yeah.
He seems to really like the fact that he can control how you feel because something pissed him off.
Wow.
It's weird, dude. He says that he didn't do it because the fans out there in left field where that guy was sitting, not necessarily that guy, fans in left field where he was playing were taunting him all night. So he's not giving any of them a fucking autograph.
What doesn't he understand about competitive sports?
Dude, it's ridiculous. That's what I mean. This is total bullshit. The team ended up giving him a bunch of stuff. They gave him tickets to Cavaliers games, which who the fuck wants that in 1996?
Go see somebody else.
Go see Mark Price bore you to tears. No. So the White Sox here, now at this other point, later on.
Enjoy Danny Ferry's jump shot.
Yeah, that's exciting, huh?
Isn't it great you get to see so much of his leg?
Look at Brad Doherty. Isn't he? Wow, look at him run.
Look at Hot Rod Williams.
Oh,
enjoy
boy.
the legs.
Jesus Christ.
All the legs down here at Cavaliers Stadium. What do they even play at? Who knows?
Jesus Christ. Another time here, there's a cameraman for WGN, which is the big Chicago station that broadcasts nationally here. And Mike Hargrove said eyewitnesses told him that Belle got a cup of Gatorade and drank all but about an inch of it, then turned around and kicked it at the cameraman to make sure to get shit all over him. Other people said that Belle threw the cup at him. But either way, he threw some Gatorade on a fucking cameraman for no reason. And he said that it comes out that Belle was upset that the cameraman had photographed him after an out earlier in the game. He put the camera on him as he walked off the field. Like they do in baseball. There's a certain shot sequence in baseball. You know what I mean? Yeah. There's the pitch from here, then the hit, so they go to the other side, the turnaround. If there's a base throw, it's over here. Then they show the guy trotting off the field. Every fucking single time. Since, 1948. Since they started broadcasting fucking baseball. It's the same shots. For the love of Christ. He says he doesn't give a shit. They asked him about it, and he just laughed. Really? That was it. The manager here, poor Mike Hargrove, he says, quote, we've talked to him 100 times, telling him that he's got to realize that when he blinks, it's taken negatively. Do I think it's fair? No. But then again, a lot of what's happening, he brought on himself. Fair and fucking fair. That year, Elaine Boozler, the comedian, you know who she is, she threw out a first pitch.
Oh, what did he say
during
about
that season? No, not her. She didn't know what was going on. She's not a big, whatever. She wasn't paying attention. She's on the road. She's not seeing.
She's just there promoting her fucking theater show.
Yeah, she threw out the first pitch. Yeah, she was in town that weekend, and she said, quote, they asked me if there was anything special they could do for me. I asked if I could have a ball signed by Albert Belle. they said, wow, you really are a comedian. She was like, what the fuck? Why not? She had no idea why that was like a...
There's no way you're getting that.
Why
from
can't
him.
I get a ball from the left fielder? I don't get why that's bad. So,
I bet you can get one from Hannah Storm if you want.
Oh, I'm sure.
Best of luck.
She'll give you one. Now, that year, on the way to second base, okay, there's a ball. He's on first base, running to second. There's a ball hit. It's a chopper, a slow hit chopper to second base, but hit like it's played in like on the baseline, and it's toward the first base side of second base. It's not up the middle or anything like that. Fernando Vina fields it. Albert Belle's on first base. Vina fields it. It goes to throw it to first, and Albert Belle fucking destroys him.
Like it's home plate.
Forearms to the fucking chest and shin, knocks him fucking over, head over heels. Vina's a tiny guy. Right. Albert's huge at this point. Fucking, I mean, obliterates him. It's the hardest hit I've ever seen in a baseball field. It's fucking crazy. If a quarterback took that hit, they'd take him off the field for concussion protocol. It's fucking nuts, dude. It is crazy. Absolutely blasts him. He was suspended 2 games and agreed to pay a $25,000 fine. But people took it as Albert Belle wanted to go after Vina. It turns out later on, Belle does an interview with Spike Lee on Real Sports in 1997, and he says that the first base coach, Dave Nelson, ordered him to break up a double play with force. He said, really fucking give it to him. Let him know let him fucking know about it. And so that's what it was. And he said they spoke about it for a long time, and then he went out and did this. Problem was, Vina wasn't even turning the double play. Breaking up a double play means the guy who catches it and does the fucking turn to first, you hit him, which is fine to slide into him. Not anymore, but it used to be, when baseball was for fucking adults and people who wanted to play a game and I'm done with this shit. So anyway, it's ridiculous, though. He's just in the baseline. He just said, boom, fucking knocks him out. It's ridiculous. Breaks his nose.
He hit him in the face.
Oh, yeah, got him in like the fucking shin and face. It's wild. Hat goes flying off. I mean, he blasted him, dude. It's impressive. That year, though, 96, he plays 158 games, hits .311 with 48 homers and 148 ribbies. So nobody cares. All-Star, third in the MVP balloting, Silver Slugger, $5,700,700.
Jesus.
Not too fucking shabby. That year, a couple of things about him. He has a lot of outbursts all the time. Buster Olney is a baseball writer. He wrote about him, quote, "It was taken in baseball circles that Albert was nuts. The Indians billed him $10,000 a year for the damage he caused in clubhouses on the road and at home, and tolerated his behavior only because he was an awesome slugger. He slurped coffee constantly and seemed to be in a perpetually caffeinated frenzy. Few escaped his wrath. On some days he would destroy the post-game buffet, launching plates into the shower. After one poor at bat against Boston, he retreated to the visitors' clubhouse and took a bat to Kenny Lofton's boombox."
Wow.
Beat your own shit up.
What the fuck? He's breaking other people's shit.
Also, he liked to have the clubhouse really cold. He wanted it to be freezing in there, like below 60 degrees, which is fucking cold.
It's ridiculous.
And one time, a teammate who was cold turned it up, and Belle walked over, turned down the thermostat, and then smashed it with his bat so no one could adjust it.
That's a hell of a way to do it.
That's crazy. Yeah. That's what crazy people do. Like that have hostages and shit. That's insane.
The only way for it to be crazier is to look the guy in the face when you do it.
He did. He smashed it. It was like 60. Like my grandmother used to yell at me to keep it at 62.
Right.
I couldn't have it above 62, though. She could hear it go on. She knew if it was on 63. My 62! Like, I'm freezing, Grandma. It's cold in here. Please.
Put on a jacket.
Oh, God. That's what put more clothes on. Oh, it's just too many.
I don't have any more.
It's just cold. My toes are cold. It's cold in here, man. So they called him Mr. Freeze after that because it's
pretty good.
He's not bad. November 1996, he's not happy with Cleveland. He signs to free agent with Chicago, the White Sox. Yeah. It's the largest deal in MLB history at this point, 1996. A 5-year, $55 million contract.
That is how bad the strike damaged this sport, because I didn't fucking know this at all.
And until 2 years from then, that's a contract for like an average. Darren Dreifert got 5 years, $55 million in 1998, and he was terrible. So that became an average contract after a while. He wasn't happy in Cleveland. He says it was because of all the off-season moves after the World Series team was broken up. He said, after we went to the World Series, I told them, please keep this team together. Well, no shit. Everybody would like to, but guys are free agents. They want big money. We'll win the World Series a few times, but only if it's kept together. He said all they needed to do was re-sign Paul Sorrento and Kenny Hill, and our off-season moves would have been over. We would have been set, and we would have brought back the same team, and I'm telling you, we would have won more games, gone back to the series, and won it. When you go to a World Series, you can't tinker with the chemistry of a team because you fight so hard to get that kind of chemistry. Fair, but you also try to plug in other guys. Another Omar Vizquel, after he left, said, quote, I got tired of answering questions about him. He was in his own little world. He's a great player, but he didn't contribute to team chemistry, and team chemistry is important. Yeah. So he said that he's talking about chemistry. Other people are saying he fucks with the chemistry. Mike Hargrove said, quote, the manager, some of the things surrounding Albert were not good, but you take the good with the bad. Because he hits 50 home runs a year. Yeah, the facts of life, indeed. Bud Black said he nicknamed Bud Black, who ends up being a pitching coach later on. He says he nicknamed Bell Snapper because he snapped at everybody. Yeah. That's how he was. Other people just called him crazy. Shit like that. Crazy over there.
Lunatics here.
One time, Dave Nelson, who was an Indians, that's the first base coach who told him to break up the play. He said, quote, Albert snapped at me. He's gone off at other coaches. You never know which Albert's going to show up. It's crazy too. I can't say for sure, but I think probably steroids are an issue with him because I'm pretty sure he was definitely roiding. By far. And there's a lot of rage here. Because, he went from being like 180 pounds when he came up to, you saw him later on, he's jacked. He's like 230 and fucking muscular. He's
my God.
Not 180 pounds. He's a big, giant fucking beast.
He was tired of a man. He was being told what to do his entire life, and now that he's an adult, he wants to be able to do whatever he wants.
But his mom still tells him what to do. Well, but the rest of the world, don't tell him a fucking thing.
Dare tell
Even
me.
if you're paying me $5 million.
That's got to be what it is.
Yeah, that's what it is. It has to be psychologically.
He has authoritative issues.
He's got definitely authority problems. He says, quote, back in 1987 when they drafted me, the Indians were the only team interested in taking a chance on Albert Belle. He's gone to third person. Yeah. Holy shit, he's on the other side.
Jesus.
And I made the most of it. Hopefully they got as much from me as I got from them. Going to a new team is like going to a new high school. Nobody knows you. It's a chance to rebuild your image. Well, let's get some new fucking hairstyles and sneakers and go there and tell them that you were cool in your old school. Right. Why don't you? I used to fuck the hottest girl.
Right.
Good for you. Right. Nobody likes you here. Still, you dummy. No, people are going to hate you wherever you go if you're a dick.
They all know who you are.
Yeah. You can see it. They can smell it on you.
Yeah.
Smell it. He says on fans hating him, it's expected that they're going to show their ignorance in Cleveland. He said Cleveland fans hating him. They've been in that situation before when Art Modell moved his team to Baltimore. They were so ignorant about that. They're ignorant about me leaving and going to Chicago. It's typical. He said leaving wasn't a personal thing where I intentionally wanted to stick it to management or anyone. This is business. I felt I should have been rewarded for helping the Indians turn around a half century of losing. It was a shame they didn't treat me that way after all I did for them. I helped this team go from 106 losses to basically 106 wins and to the World Series. And what do I get for it? Nothing. Except $5 million and $4 million, whatever. So not bad. He says the Indians didn't help me in dealing with the media. He said, I think they wanted to keep my market value down. Now he's saying that literally it's a conspiracy that the Indians caused him to be so shitty to the press because that would make him less valuable and that would make him, that's the craziest conspiracy theory. He's others. He is fucking Alex Jones at this point. He's literally, that's what he is. Yeah. He's Albert Jones right now. This is is Alex Jones' middle name Joanne? Because if it is, they could be the same person. That's all I'm saying. That's the craziest conspiracy theory I've ever fucking heard in my life. Yeah. That's insane. No team wants, we'll get our star a terrible reputation. Right. That's what we want in our town.
Our star look unstable.
Yeah, we want our fans to boo our star. Mm-hmm. That's what we want. Not to buy tickets to see him and buy his jersey. No. He says they didn't help him. I think they wanted to keep my value down. I'm moody. I know that. First honest thing he said so far. I've made some mistakes, but if I was a bad person, would someone want to pay me $55 million? Would I have a scholarship fund my mother runs that pays kids to go to school? Because he does run scholarship funds. He does do shit on the side that's actually good. Now, the owner, Jerry Reinsdorf, said, I talked to a lot of people before we picked him. One of them was Frank Thomas, who personally lobbied for Belle. With him coming up, and because he said that Thomas said with him behind him in the lineup, he's going to see a lot of good pitches, which is true here. There's an SI piece here where he is quoted as saying he doesn't really want to participate in it. And he said, Sports Illustrated can kiss my black ass, which is one of the best quotes ever. That is fantastic. Yeah. And I'll tell you right now.
Anybody says it.
Sports Illustrated, if you ever, for some reason, I don't know why you would, but if you ever want to talk to me for any reason, I will say the word Sports Illustrated can kiss my black ass. It's fucking coming. Guaranteed.
I'd like to say that about a lot of things.
Yeah.
Because that is a solid...
Especially Sports Illustrated, man. Fuck them. No, I have no...
It's a super solid statement towards anybody.
You nod and you go, well, all right then. There's not much you can say about that.
He's right.
He's right. They asked him about being a role model. He said, as far as the younger generation, I think the parents should be role models for the kids. I'm just going to continue to be Albert Belle. I'm not going to change.
Okay.
Clearly not. 1997, he's put on probation by the league for gambling. Finally, that it all comes, to a head there.
Sure.
Also, 1997, he starts playing for the White Sox. Fans, when he goes to Cleveland, they boo him and chant shit at him and throw Monopoly money on the field at him because he took the money to leave.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're saying there.
That's pretty good.
What he did was he put his hands behind his back, like he has his glove behind his back with his hand, and gave the fans the finger.
I like that.
Which is pretty funny.
I like that.
He got suspended, though. Yeah. You can't do that.
You're going to get caught.
Yeah. There's also, he threatens a lawsuit with a burger chain telling a joke. There's a burger store, not a chain. It's called Sereno's. It's in Brecksville.
I like it already.
They put a $99.99 Albert Belle burger on the menu that obviously no one's going to order because it's so overpriced. Right. It's a joke. But he said he was pissed, Albert Belle is. The restaurateur, Eddie Sereno, said it was more of a joke, I guess you could say. I wasn't looking to sell anything. Yeah. He's just making a joke. And instead, the menu described it as a 7-ounce burger having every topping, which still isn't enough, and added the warning, no substitutions for loyalty to the fans or city of Cleveland. Clearly a joke. Jesus Christ. He said Cleveland was so hungry for a winner all these years. They put up with it, and they put up with a lot. He's been asked to appear before baseball officials. That was Belle, I'm sorry. So Belle is threatening a lawsuit, basically a cease and desist. They have to take it off the menu.
But why?
Because it's an Albert Belle burger.
Yeah, there's so many Albert Bells.
It's so stupid.
Could be anybody.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, it's obviously him, but it's just who cares, dude? It's a fucking restaurant in suburban Cleveland.
The guy's not even making money off of it.
No, it's a fucking joke. It's so stupid. When he goes here he brings a buddy with him. He brings his own posse, just one guy.
To Chicago?
To Chicago. A guy from Cleveland named Len Spacek. And he brings him just to hang out with him. Yeah. Now, league rules say no outsiders can be in the locker room or in the clubhouse, so they gave him a job, the White Sox did, as a security guard, so he could sit there with Albert. So he works there. Now, they called him, quote, in this article, a morose-looking man of about 35. That's what they called Spacek. They said he acted like a bored bank guard. He would just sit there. He sat alone near the entrance of the clubhouse or across from Belle as Belle worked on crossword puzzles at his locker. Like, he just had him there as like an ornament, just in case.
Poor guy, though.
Yeah, they said, the one article said, quote, there seems to be no camaraderie or rapport between the two, but Spacek was there just in case, making Belle all the more unapproachable. They called him a, quote, frigid ogre, which is, Jesus. Now, fuck, man, it's interesting here. So, 1997 for the White Sox, they're 80 and 81. This is Frank Thomas, Ray Durham, Ozzie Guillen, Albert Belle, Mike Cameron, Harold Baines, all that. Baines is 38 here. He's already getting old. They had Tony Pena, too, who's getting old there. Now, 1997 is the All-Star Game, which Albert makes, and it's in Cleveland. So he goes there, and they obviously boo the shit out of him.
Like a motherfucker.
His brother starts hanging around more now. His brother comes around. His brother has like an MBA. And
Terry?
Terry's got like glasses, and Terry's like
so successful,
put-together kind of guy. Yeah.
Oh, man.
He says he's pissed at the fans. He says, it amazes me. He was in the community for 10 years. He did a lot of positive things, and they still treat him badly. Will they boo Roger Clemens when he comes back to Boston? Yes, they did.
Did he run any kids over?
That's the other thing. He said, I've always said it's a double standard. Albert Belle should be in the same class as Cal Ripken or Ken Griffey.
Wow.
He was an Eagle Scout. He played in the Junior Olympics. He's a Christian.
Yeah.
He was a Roberto Clemente Award nominee twice, and he's very genuine. Just because he doesn't like the spotlight doesn't mean he should be put in that category. And it doesn't.
No.
The problem is he did all the other shit. This is what I mean. If it was just dude surly and he's private and doesn't want to talk to people, that's me.
Right.
I get it.
It's okay to be
I
a
don't
morose ogre.
fucking lash out at other people. You know what I'm saying?
Frigid ogre. That's it.
Yeah. I don't lash out. If you come up to me and you're nice enough and you like me,
right.
I'll talk to you and smile and be a human being and be normal. You know what I'm saying? I might be uncomfortable inside, but I'm still going to talk to everybody.
Also, Tear Bear, you're a little biased here.
Yeah, that's the other
it's
thing.
It's your brother.
Twin.
Right.
Yeah. So also he leads the league in double plays grounded into this year with 26, which happens. He's an all-star here. Hits 274 with 30 homers, 116 RBI. Makes $10 million bucks.
Wow.
This year, 5-year, $55 million.
Yeah.
It makes $10 million. I guess he does other escalators later.
Stomp up a little bit.
He said he won't repeat Halloween problems now. He literally said, quote, now I live in a nice gated community, so the kind of incident that happened in 1995 isn't going to happen. We have 24-hour security, and one thing I like about Chicago is it's so big, no one knows where I live. The suburbs are way out.
Yeah.
People still trick-or-treat there. Right. And if you open the door and say, I don't have any candy, get the fuck off my lawn, they're still going to throw shit at your fucking house because that's what Halloween is, you asshole.
They got gates they can't get in.
No, that's it. His mom does his stuff. Which is interesting. They said his mother influences him to be private and that sort of shit. She says she's basically, they call her as a quote, dominating the family, basically. She rules over that family with an iron fist, the matriarch here. She invests Albert's money for him, so he has no control over that. When he needed a place to live in Chicago, she came there to scout properties. She bought a place, then had it totally decorated. The day he moved in, he had a girlfriend there and everything. He had never seen the place yet. He walked in.
Sight unseen.
My new home, fully decorated.
Looks right.
I guess I live here.
This'll do.
Mom just said, picked all the shit out and did it. Yeah.
Thanks, Mom.
That's it. They said a lot of people say that it's her, his mom, that instilled his distrust of strangers and the media and all that sort of thing. It's kind of his mom's thing. But 1998 in Chicago, he says it's New Albert time.
Yeah.
New Albert. He says, New Albert, and this is his statement on the world. He's going to tell you the ills of society. Moral values have been thrown out the window. Christianity is out the window. And that's wrong. Parents should be at home teaching kids right from wrong, making sure they get a great education so they could be a success in life. That's it. He said, people don't need to know what Albert Belle is thinking. I've learned from my mistakes in the past, and that's what's made me a better person. I'm good now.
Yeah.
I'm good now.
Okay.
Absolutely. Christianity, morals, Jimmy.
You ran over a kid.
Moral values have been thrown out the window, and Albert Belle is not happy about it. So, July 21st, 1998, he's arrested for domestic battery. Because that's very moral of you.
Who'd he beat up?
His fucking girlfriend.
God damn
Let's see here. Stephanie Boguski, who's 25 years old here. He is charged with domestic battery for, hitting her. Then when she tried to call for help, he ripped the phone off the wall and bashed that as well.
Wow.
Which is, you're not allowed to do that. Absolutely
illegal.
not. Yeah. She wins a temporary restraining order against him, order of protection, which is different. At a hearing, he's released on a $3,000 bond and then is playing a game a few hours later at Comiskey Park. They didn't know about it.
Wow.
He just got out of jail, went to work, and they fucking started hitting. That was it.
Boy.
Nobody cares. He struck her, also broke a door and a window at her condo, and broke all the telephones in her apartment. He did not resist arrest when police arrived and arrested him, which is good. He knew where to draw the line there. It's described by the police as Belle and Boguski had a, quote, dating relationship. He's married with children, by the way.
What?
There's going to be a few girls that he's always married with children. That's always on the table. These are just, he has a lot of side pieces, and they come up and they go away, and they file fucking suits against him. It's crazy.
What a great wife.
Jesus, she is understanding as fuck.
No kidding.
She said 5 years, $55 million. All right. So he is not allowed any contact with this woman, obviously. It's domestic battery, criminal damage to property, and interfering with the report of domestic battery in connection with that, because you're not allowed to rip the phone out, obviously. Now, his lawyer said, quote, Albert's assured me there's no merit to the charges brought against him here today. He has full confidence in the legal system, and we're confident that he's going to be vindicated in this manner. Okay. Well, not too shabby. The manager of the White Sox said, no fucking comment. Not my problem. Yeah. I don't know shit about it. Now, she says, the woman, she says that she's frightened and the altercation has left her kind of shaken, but she says she's known Albert for about a year and she'll still always be a White Sox fan. She said, quote, we go to every home game and I'm not going to not go. I'm sure that me going to the ballpark is not going to affect his performance at all. That's what she said. Now, Belle attempted to have her banned from Comiskey Park. That's how fucking petty this guy is. Fuck her. I'm going to have her banned from Comiskey. And she said about that, nothing that Albert does surprises me. So, come on, dude.
That is pretty incredible.
It's fucking amazing, dude. I mean, this is crazy. At this point, what does he even do with this? I mean, he's in his gated community, and there's a knock on the door, and he's confident that it's not trick-or-treaters now. It's not trick-or-treaters.
Is it May?
It's not May. It's a neighbor of his, actually. It's a man. He wants to tell him that he's got a plentiful bounty in his garden, and he wants to know if he needs to share with Albert. It's Adam Arugula Pac-Man Jones, Arugula connoisseur. He's at the door. He has no music because he doesn't want any because he needs to get right down to business, damn it.
Quiet.
Got to get quiet. He says, how is it you've come to arrive here? Okay, I understand how you came to arrive here, actually, because it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Yeah. A gentleman, first of all, what fan wouldn't like a souvenir? That's the thing. They bring gloves to the games. They sit there. They wait for a foul ball. Well, guess what? You gave it to him. You just happen to throw it a little harder than he expected. It's still, I think it's a gesture, honestly. It's a gesture that's going to go a long way. Right. And this young lady who you had this, let's be real, we've all been in the situation. People act a little, and it's a woman, it's a man, it's a feller. It doesn't matter. They act all crazy, and there's no arugula, nothing with these people. Now, she was saying, I'm going to call the authorities. Correct? That's what happened. I assume that's what I read. Yeah, I'm going to call the authorities. And you said, well, let me get the phone for you, and ripped it from the wall.
You're so big.
To bring it closer to the young lady so she could have a better chance of using it, obviously, because she had fallen down and hurting her head. And I got a poof and a poof of arugula and arrest warrants.
To the bridge club with his brother Tear.
He's gone, yeah. Jesus Christ, man. Oh, my God. So
unbelievable.
Here's the ball, pal. Hey, pal, here's the ball for you. Now you're the jerk? Jesus Christ. Wow. So, 98, it doesn't fucking matter. He hits 328. Who cares? 49 homers. Jesus, 152 rib. That's a monster season. 328, fucking 49 and 152. And he had 49 homers and 48 doubles. He almost did 50-50 again.
That's got to be roids, right?
Which is
that's. I mean, you know what I mean. But I mean, back home, that's got to be something with it too.
It's all
instability and mood is crazy.
It's way crazy. Especially, it's a change, and it's right when they said he's going to be drafted high.
Right.
He all of a sudden had this mood. Did you think he said, "I better fucking take roids"?
Right.
No, I can't say that for sure. Obviously, and I don't. By the way, I don't give a fuck if people are taking steroids.
It doesn't matter to me.
Take them all you want. It's your body.
Just maintain your fucking.
Yeah, you just can't act like an asshole.
Fuck
I don't mind.
People.
I don't care. Well, I'm not like, oh, that's illegitimate. Barry Bonds take his home runs. I don't care.
No.
You know what? Everyone else has used steroids too. None of them at fucking 700 something home runs. Who cares? Jesus Christ.
It was a great season to watch. Fuck you.
I don't see Brady Anderson with 700 fucking 70 home runs or whatever. No. So, Jesus Christ. Yeah. Anyway, fuck, man. Cal Ripken Jr. ends his streak that year, his consecutive game streak. And when he does, Albert Belle takes over as the longest active player.
Is that right?
Yeah, the longest streak, which wasn't anywhere near Cal Ripken, but he hasn't missed a game other than suspension, which is an injury.
Gotcha.
So that's okay. Makes $10 million. His contract has a clause. It's basically a favored nations clause, where if anybody else, it's so he would remain one of the three highest paid players in baseball.
Oh, wow.
So he could renegotiate if somebody knocked him out of that category. Yeah. That's in his deal. So he invokes the clause in October 98 when everybody was getting crazy deals, $100 million deals. White Sox declined to give him what he wanted, so they negotiated it and finagled it so he could get out of it and be a free agent. So he does, and he signs a 5-year, $65 million contract with the Orioles here.
My God.
So yeah, he starts out talking to the media, being a nice guy, and then he starts out poorly and hits 200 in the first 2 weeks of spring training and says, quote, "I'm done with you guys," and won't talk to them anymore.
You guys are doing this to me.
It's all you guys. Right. That's what it is. Someone has to do it to me.
Right.
98 Orioles sucked. They had 78 wins. This is Charles Johnson, Delino DeShields last year, or Ripken, or toward the end, B.J. Surhoff, Brady Anderson. I said, Now at this point, Terry Belle, his brother, he says, quote, "Albert Belle doesn't need to change his personality. He needs to change his image," which is related to him doing crazy shit with his personality.
Same thing.
Yeah. He says also, quote, "Albert Belle likes Ray Miller." He's the manager of the Orioles. "If anything happened, it happened in the heat of the battle because they got in an argument. It's over with. They're going to work it out. They both want to win. It amazes me how this is sensationalized, whereas 400 kids go to see their first game in Texas, and that was barely covered, and 4 kids received Albert Belle scholarships to college, and that wasn't covered either, you motherfuckers."
So he paid for 400 kids to go see a baseball
game and had a scholarship fund set up, which, by the way, is all write-offs.
Right.
So he needs to do that shit. When you have a $65 million contract, you got to set up some serious shit. Not to say that he's not into that.
Right.
That's the thing.
Doesn't mean he's not enjoying it.
Away from baseball, he might go do charity work and be a beautiful man that does wonderful things with children and the elderly and the infirmed and whatever the fuck. We don't know. But he really it really makes it hard for you to imagine that. We'll put it that way.
And the amount of money he's making, you got to unload some of that.
Yeah.
And it helps you look good. So it's killing 2 birds with 1 stone.
Totally.
But when you punch women, I don't give a fuck how much charity you give.
It's the thing.
I don't care.
Sorry. 99 with Baltimore here. He hits 297, 37 home runs. He makes $11,949,794 that year.
Good Lord.
That's a shot there. In the 90s, he leads the major league through the 1990s with 1,099 RBI and led the league majors in extra base hits in the 1990s too with 711.
The whole 90s.
Whole 90s. Most ribbies, most you wouldn't know that. If I said how many people, most ribbies in the 90s, you wouldn't say Albert Belle, right? 2000 Baltimore here. This is when he has 141 games. His hip starts to bother him. Hits 281 with 23 homers, 103 ribbies. October 1st, 2000 is the last at-bat of the season for him, and he hits a home run in his last at-bat of the season. He makes $12,868,670 that year. Now, after the season, he is diagnosed with osteoarthritis in both his hips.
Oh, shit.
And he is forced to retire.
No kidding.
Right then, done. That's it.
It's over.
Last at bat was a homer, though, so that's kind of
cool.
neat. He's done. March 8th, 2001. They say that he is on the disabled list, unable to perform. He's going to retire. Now, Baltimore's on the hook for about $40 million for him, which is interesting. Now, quickly though, he had a .295 career batting average, 381 homers, 1,239 RBI. He is from 92 to 99. He hit at least 30 home runs and drove in 100 runs each year, making him only the 4th player at the time to have a streak that long. It was Babe Ruth, Jimmy Fox, Lou Gehrig, and Albert Belle had a streak that long. That's a dominant streak.
Unbelievable.
They talk about Hall of Fame in terms of year chunks. It's not even about cumulative things. It's how dominant were you for
your generation.
If you're 8-year period, you had an 8-year period where you were like the top 3 player in the league. That's Hall of Fame right there. And that's
Dennis Rodman.
Yeah. Sandy Koufax, if you look at his career numbers in the end, he doesn't have 300 wins because he was injured and had to retire early. But they said that time he was there, he's the most dominant pitcher in the league, Hall of Fame, even those numbers don't add up in the end. He says, "I look back over my career and I almost pissed it away. I got a second chance and I made the most of my opportunity. I played every game like it's the last of my career. I mean, people think I'm too intense for baseball. I've always excelled to be the best, no matter what it is, but it's like people think something's wrong with that." So he retires. A Daily News columnist here, Bill Madden, he says, quote, "Sorry, there'll be no words of sympathy here for Albert Belle. He was a surly jerk before he got hurt, and now he's a hurt surly jerk." He was no credit to the game. Belle's boorish behavior should be remembered by every member of the Baseball Writers Association when it comes to consider him for the Hall of Fame. I hate that shit. Yeah, don't use your personal grudges for the Hall of Fame. Look it on the field. That off-field shit is such bullshit.
That's a guy that's not in the bullshit. Hall of Fame.
That's what I mean. Come on. Ty Cobb's in the Hall of Fame, right. Period.
The horrible things he did and said.
That's it.
He's a great player.
It starts and ends there, man. That's the end of it. So let him in. Football has it right. Lawrence Taylor's in the Hall because they don't care.
Every person in the Hall of Fame is generally a piece of shit.
That's the thing. 2001, still getting paid from Baltimore here. Makes $12,049,040 here. They have to keep him on the 40-man roster for the next 3 years as a condition of the insurance policy, which will reimburse them for 70% of the $39 million they're still on the hook for. So that's how that works. 2002, he makes $12,368,970 for watching television. On September 13th, he's getting paid to do this. This is during the season. He's arrested in Scottsdale.
What?
On DUI. He's pulled over in his 2003 Rolls Royce, his brand spanking new Rolls Royce.
With his bad hips.
Weaving around in North Scottsdale, which if you're going to weave in a Rolls Royce, it looks kind of in place in North Scottsdale. Oh, look at that Rolls Royce weaving. Must be a drunk person. He was traveling 10 miles over the 45-mile-an-hour speed limit and weaving. He told the police officer that he drank 4 beers at a bar and then had 3 margaritas at a restaurant and then got behind the wheel.
7 drinks.
7 drinks in a couple hours is too much.
4 beers, I can understand.
He's a big guy.
You're probably okay.
Probably got a good tolerance, too.
You could put a lot of tequila in a fucking margarita. That's not a beer.
Strong.
Yeah.
Breathalyzer test showed 0.12, which is above the legal limit, obviously. He also had no proof of insurance and was speeding and making an unsafe lane change, so he gets no proof of insurance.
In a fucking Rolls Royce?
You know he's got insurance. He'd go,
better have
this thing
insurance.
cost me $400,000. You think I'm going to roll around with this shit uninsured? He's booked, released 6 hours later. Oh, by the way, he made $13 million for that in 2003. Wow. Total money, $97,376,294.
He is crushing.
Was crushing his hip, too. Yeah. 2006, January 22nd, Hall of Fame voting. Yeah. He gets 7.7% of the vote.
That's not good.
You need, 5% keeps you on the ballot for another year. Right. And in 2007, he gets 3.5% and he's off the ballot. Done deal. He received barely that. It's not much. And one of the writers from Cleveland, Paul Hoynes, said his numbers were good. I thought if he played 1 or 2 more years at a high level, I'd have to vote for him, but he didn't. He was a bad guy, and what goes around comes around. This is what I mean. They get to settle their personal grudges with, now I don't have to vote for him.
Right.
If he had 500 home runs, I would have had to have voted for him. But now I can say, sorry, Albert, not quite good enough. That shit pisses me off. Don't be a fucking twat. Don't deserve to get a baseball thrown at you. Right. That's my point. Don't be a douche.
Don't bait him, you asshole.
Yeah. Then another guy here, he says, quote, it wasn't just us. He would sit there and dare people to talk to him. He would abuse the clubhouse guy, the PR guy, everybody. That's fucked up. That you can't do. He said, Teddy Greenstein of the Chicago Tribune said he was even a menace to Sox employees. He once cursed out a broadcaster for having a gall to enter the trainer's room to get an aspirin, and he belittled hitting instructor Von Joshua by forbidding him from discussing Belle's swing with reporters. Ridiculous.
What?
That's what I mean. Mike Hargrove on this, his old manager, said maybe if Albert would have shook a few more hands and said hello to a few more people, he might have had a shot. I doubt he'll ever get in, but he probably should get in.
Yeah.
So, but ridiculous, I would say. The Cleveland's media rep at the time, Paul DePodesta, who is Jonah Hill's character in Moneyball. Right. He was working for the Indians at the time. He said, Albert Belle is a very intense personality that can be a double-edged sword. It contributes to his success because he's so driven, but he's not something he can just turn on or off. No matter what, he's going to reach his potential as a player, and he's never going to have to wonder if he could have been better, which that makes sense. So now he's retired. He's not getting in the Hall of Fame. His hips hurt.
Yeah.
He's got lawsuits, all this shit.
There's got to be worse players than him that got in the fucking Hall of Fame.
Oh, there is, absolutely. Yeah.
Tons of them.
I mean, and all of the people who don't get in the Hall of Fame, I feel bad for all these people, Jimmy, but not nearly as bad as I feel for Albert Belle, software engineer at Pepsi Company in San Francisco Bay. Albert Belle, chef at Chef's Table and Tasting Room in Orlando, Florida. Yeah. Try this guy's food. He's poor guy's Albert Belle.
He doesn't beat women.
Albert Belle, social media specialist from Trinidad and Tobago.
Oh,
different. And Albert Belle, employee at Night Transportation in Phoenix, where Albert Belle currently lives.
Oh, no.
So that's fucked up, and it's not that Albert Belle, because this one went to ASU, which Albert Belle certainly did not go to.
He lives here.
He lives here. He's going to kill us, Jimmy. Yeah. February of 2006, he is arrested on suspicion of felony stalking. Stalking.
Why would you pick this?
Stalking.
What?
An ex-girlfriend, Christine Williams, told police Belle had threatened to kill her if she told police that he had put a tracking device on her car after she broke up the relationship. She said that she found a GPS device in her driveway that fell off her car.
He stuck it with bubble gum.
Yeah, he's
fucking dummy.
Shit, I'll do it there. She also told police that Belle had been showing up wherever she went, the grocery store, the gym, when she's out on dates.
No.
Shit like that. He's like, I just wanted to make sure the gentleman took you to a nice location with a good, healthy meal. I said, order the arugula salad. It's wonderful. You're going to love it.
I just want to talk to you.
I just want to sit down with you for one moment.
Really explain that. I need another chance.
She said she went all over the place. She asked him if he put a GPS on her car, and he said no at first, and then on February 3rd, he left a message apologizing for, quote, and I quote, doing all that tracking stuff.
Oh my God. That's called stalking, you dickhead.
A later recording had him threatening her, telling her she needed to hire a bodyguard for protection, and that she would, quote, never know what hit her. So, April. That's in February of 2006. April 2006, his wife, Melissa, gives birth to a daughter.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. May 17th, 2006, he's arrested again for violating the no-contact order that he had with the woman he just stalked. Held without bond this time because, it's stalking and all.
He is unhinged, bro.
Unhinged. It was phone calls. What ends up happening, his wife comes forward and she testifies in court that it was her that made the calls to Williams. She said, I made the calls to this woman. She said, and I hung up, though. That's what happened. They never talked. She says that, this is Melissa Belle. She says she was, quote, hormonal and pregnant when she made 4 calls to Williams in April, attempting to investigate the extent of Williams' relationship with Albert. Like, how many times you fucking my husband type of thing.
Enough for you to leave.
Yeah. Albert says that he had with this woman, a, quote, strictly a business relationship. Yeah. He said that he paid her for, quote, escort services. It's not a business relationship if you dick sitter up there.
Out of here.
If you're paying her or not, it's still not business.
Strictly business. I pay her, we fuck. That's
God,
it.
This is fucking unreal. Oh, man. He said from June of 2001 through 2006, this was going on. And then she ended the relationship. If you're a dick, she sells, okay, you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So they were blocked calls on the caller ID. She had a private investigator look into it and found that they were from Belle's residence. That's all that they know. She also received a telephone call on her cell phone from Belle when she was in her car at Tatum and Shea Boulevard.
So my God.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my God.
I said that too. Too close.
It's way too close.
Yeah, she said she recognized his voice during the call, so that wasn't his wife. And he said, quote, what are you doing? Where are you going? And she says, quote, it freaked me out. It just scares me. It seems like nothing stops him. Yeah. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
He denied making any of the calls or speaking to her, and then pleaded the fifth when asked if he made any threats to her. I'll take the fifth on that one.
Oh, boy.
She testified that Belle gave her money for a new car and to go somewhere so Belle would know where she was during his honeymoon.
No.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You know it.
How long? What?
Yeah.
What is happening?
This is a $95 million problem or something.
How much does Albert Belle love pussy?
Yeah.
So much.
His attorneys say that she didn't reveal she was a licensed escort at the time to him, and so she's a liar. Yeah. Meanwhile, he paid her he's totally contradictory. It's ridiculous. It's fucking ridiculous. June of 2006, he's still in jail. No bond from May arrest from that. The judge said that he was going to decide whether they're going to let him out of jail or not. He said he didn't violate the court order. He never spoke to her. He's at the 4th Avenue jail down there in Phoenix, just sitting down there. August 25th is the sentencing for this. He ends up getting sentenced for this. He ends up pleading for stalking, and he is you, sir, may fuck off. 3 months in jail and 5 years of supervised probation.
Okay.
So keep an eye on him for a minute.
5 months?
5 years of supervised
after
probation.
3 months.
Yeah.
Okay.
3 months in jail, 5 years of probation. February 7, 2007, he's got a lawsuit to see his estranged daughter, who is not from his wife. It's a woman named Beth Myers, who gave birth to his daughter in 2000. This is Jesus Christ. And a year later, they agreed on a plan that gave him 2 weeks of visitation every other month and required him to pay $4,350 in child support a month and thousands more toward an education and attorney fees and all that shit.
Lord.
But in 2004, this woman, Myers, and the girl moved down to Florida, and then it got all messed up because that violated the agreement, and they fought in court for a long time.
Now he's off the hook.
Now he's off. Well, he wants regular visits with the 6-year-old at this point. Instead, the judge awarded him a 15-minute phone call every Sunday night.
Oh,
that's weak shit. That's terrible. He said, I'm trying to do what's right for my daughter at that point, which is fair. Yeah. Then also in court, during the hearing, he argued with the girl's mother and her attorney and the judge. He was arguing with everybody. He was just belligerent in court. It's interesting. He said, you know what? I haven't made a good impression on people my whole life, but I've been a success. I'm a fighter. I've always been a fighter. I'm going to continue fighting. The judge says they don't like each other, about them, those two. They really don't like each other. They really don't like each other. The hearing's expected to continue. A psychiatrist has to offer an evaluation of the girl to see whether she is fit to travel to Arizona for unsupervised visits with Belle. See if she can handle that shit. According to the mother, the child is afraid of her father, is what the lawyer says. And Albert Belle says, people can say what they want about me, but all I want is for my daughter to know who her father is. Yeah. Fair.
I'm afraid of this man.
I'm scared of him, yeah.
Terrifying.
Oh, he lives here. He's going to kill us.
This is a psychopath.
February 2012, he's at Indian spring training. He comes back.
Yeah.
It's a mini reunion of 95. Kenny Lofton, Carlos Baerga, Sandy Alomar, Mike Hargrove, and Albert Belle.
They probably do that a lot.
Yeah, that was the first time he's been there, though.
Yeah.
That's interesting. He comes out. This is the first time he's been out in public since late 2011 in Paradise Valley. His brother Terry was in a car accident in Paradise Valley and was killed.
No way!
Terry's dead. So when he said Terry's a success, I'm like, yeah, sort of.
Terror Bear, I'm so sorry.
Terry's dead, though. Yeah, so that's a problem. I feel bad. That's terrible, obviously.
He was super successful.
He was doing great.
Valley.
He was doing great, yeah. They asked what he's doing now. He said, quote, I'm a stay-at-home dad. I missed your mom. My wife and I have 4 girls. I waited until I was done playing to get married and settle down and start a family. Well, I also keep fucking escorts and everybody else I can find. But to legally do it, right. I waited. They said that he had hip surgery there, and they talked about that. He says he hasn't picked up a bat since spring of 2001. He said, I'd rather pick up a golf club.
Okay.
And I said, golf, it's an individual sport, so it's the exact opposite of baseball. If you hit a bad shot, you can't say, well, this happened. It's just you. It's your shot. You can't point the finger at anybody but yourself.
Isn't that worse on your hips than baseball?
I don't know. Baseball, you got to torque it. I don't know. Golf, you can be pretty... Yeah, but you can kind of be lame with it, I'm sure.
It's pretty easy. You're right.
80-year-old men play it. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I was just thinking.
I certainly would have.
I saw a big fat white guy.
That's what I mean. I've seen.
Golf ball.
John Daly's a professional. You know what I'm saying? Come on. I would have certainly liked to play a lot longer. Unfortunately, it didn't work out that way. 2016, he's put into the Cleveland Indians Hall of Fame.
Oh.
And they have a big ceremony, and he doesn't fucking show up for it.
Get out of here.
I'm going to defend him here. Nobody wants to go to Cleveland. I'm sorry. If they had it in Cleveland, you can't ask the man to want to be there. You can't. I'm sorry. Have you ever been to PV, Paradise Valley, where he lives? It's fucking nice there.
Pretty amazing.
You can't put Cleveland in your brain when you're living there. He lives in a mansion. Come on.
When did they do the Hall of Fame induction? In like the playoffs?
Yeah,
in
right.
October?
Yeah, it's probably.
I don't want to go there.
No. March 25th, 2018. He's in Phoenix.
Yeah.
He's outside of Phoenix Rising, that stupid soccer stadium.
Shut up.
That's not a stadium,
no,
really.
It's like cardboard.
It looks like if they had like an inflatable pool float that you could sit like 10,000 people in and people play soccer in the middle of. It's the stupidest looking thing I've ever seen.
What Blazing Saddles would build if we were building the fake soccer stadium.
It's a Rock Ridge. That's the soccer stadium. It looks like shit. No,
it's terrible.
It's going to come down at some point, I'm sure.
High school stadiums around the city.
They're nicer.
They have much
some of those
better
Christian
fields.
schools.
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah.
Jesus,
they should have just booked that shit.
That's what I'm saying. He's outside the stadium. It's 10:30 p.m.
Okay.
Assume the game's over. At this point, a man who's got his 15-year-old daughter with him in the car witnesses Belle pissing next to the driver's side of his door right by them in the parking lot, right? So the man yells at Belle, quit pissing, put your dick away.
Right.
So Belle responded by shaking his dick at them.
I'm paying somebody's rent in Tucson.
Yeah, woohoo. Problem is, there's a 15-year-old girl you're shaking your dick at.
Oh, no.
You can't shake your dick at a 15-year-old girl.
No.
That's why you should never shake your dick really at anyone in public, because there might be a child
Especially
nearby.
if it's 10 p.m. and it's a smidge
You
dark
never know.
out. You
It's
can't
dark.
see who
You don't
it is.
know. Maybe this is while him and his wife. I'll shake it. Oh,
Can't
shit,
make out
daughter.
your victim.
Yeah. So the cops came.
Yeah.
The officer said that he had bloodshot eyes and his breath smelled like alcohol. He admitted to having the verbal altercation with the man, but denied urinating in public.
Yeah.
The police noticed while he's denying it two large separate wet spots in the parking lot next to where his car was parked. You know, like piss.
Yeah.
And it smelled. What's that smell? It's familiar. Oh, yeah, piss.
Two large piss spots, like he started in one area, had a little altercation, finished in another.
Or who's been drinking a lot and needed to piss twice. He also told the police he had driven his car there while he's drunk, which wasn't really smart. So they said, okay, they book him on 2 counts of indecent exposure and driving under the influence and DUI.
2 counts, 1 per victim.
1 per victim.
Wow.
Yeah. Lucky he didn't get it on a fucking minor because he didn't know.
Right.
April 13th, 2018, though, indecent exposure charges are dropped.
Okay.
DUI still on the books. He's got a few of those in his career, as we talked about.
He can handle those.
2002, whatever. Net worth at this point, for whatever this is worth from Celebrity Net Worth, like I said, they say I have $20 million, which, good Lord, no. They say he has $25 million. So judging by my thing, he probably has
$50 grand.
He's probably got about $8,000 in the bank, I think. Judging if you scale it down. He's got about $8,000 in the bank. It's good. He's worried about his rent.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. So, not about the $8,000, but the rent. So, can't get enough of Albert Belle? Well, I fucking have. I've had about an assload of Albert Belle. But they have autographed everything. He was around forever. Yeah. Baseballs, jerseys, cards. Nobody wants him. You can get him cheap because everybody hates him. He's a total asshole. That people without fans tend to, they don't know a lot of Albert Belle fans out there. And I will say, great fucking player, and I do think he belongs in the Hall of Fame for having a dominant 8-year period.
The stories about him are fantastic.
It's dominant.
It's riveting.
He was so fucking good. Injury ended his career, and he was great. The last year of his career, he was great. I mean, he was great.
Right up to his last at bat.
Yeah, right up to his last at bat. And he's a great player. Can't take anything away from him on the field. Total dick off the field.
Don't you dare take anything away from him. He'll beat the shit out of you.
Pelt you with a baseball in the fucking chest. If you like the story of Albert Joan Belle Jr.
Jew on.
There's a Jew on there. You know how you can tell us. You can get on Apple Podcasts, that purple icon. Give us 5 stars. Doesn't matter what you say. Say you're following instructions, following directions. It does not matter. We do not care. Say these guys made us do it.
Right.
Also, head over to shutupandgivememurder.com for all of your merchandise, all of your small town murder and crime and sports needs. And by the way, this week, it's going to be in the next 7 days, we will be releasing the tickets for sale for for next year's touring. I don't know about Crime and Sports or what we have there because we're still trying to squeeze a couple more in there, but we have a ton of small town murders all over the country from February to December.
Yeah.
So check that out. You can check all those out at shutupandgivememurder.com, or you can get it first and really the second we know, you'll know on social media. Follow us at Murder Small on Twitter, at Small Town Pod on Facebook, it's at Murder Small Twitter,
right.
at Small Town Pod Facebook, at Small Town Murder on Instagram. Follow us on all those. You'll find out immediately, and you can get your tickets because some of these, there's a few cities where we're going to smaller venues. That was the better venue in town, and we'd rather have a better venue and have less people and make less money and have a better show, honestly. Right. So they're probably going to sell out pretty fast, some of those smaller ones. You want to get those tickets early. And honestly, some of the bigger ones, like Chicago's been sold out for months that we're doing this week.
But we have to do it that big because there's so many people.
Right. Yeah, it's 900-something people, and they sold it out months ago. Right. So we don't want to go to a bigger theater than that because we can't give you as good of a show.
Right.
We really can't.
The good show is the confinement.
It's 1,000 or less. And other than that, it gets weird. And our agents have said in a couple things, we have people that plan this stuff, and they said, we need to scale up. And we said, no.
We don't want to.
We'll do 2 shows of smaller shows, or we'll do 1 and make less money, but we're not going to do a shit show.
Right.
We want people to want to come back next time. So
exactly.
That's how it is. Get on there. Do all of that. If you want to be just a goddamn hero to us, and let's talk about our producers.
All right.
One of our producers, very easily, patreon.com/crimeinsports, or head over to PayPal. Use our email address, crimeinsports@gmail.com. We'll get you there. And we just can't tell you how much everything you do for us is appreciated. Honestly, you guys, you changed our lives. We owe everything to you. I mean, we started this show with nothing, and now we have 2 shows and more stuff in the works. And it's just because of you guys. Thank you. And Crime and Sports fans, I know, guys. I know. I get it. And I feel bad. The small town murder people get more. Bad? I do. They get more. They get live shows.
You
know who I feel bad for? They get live shows. They get all this stuff. And I get the Crime and Sports people are going, this show's fucking better. And we get it. And we're trying. And there's a couple things in the works that we're trying to do that are very small town murder, or very Crime and Sports specific. And they're very big. So don't worry. Crime and Sports is still fucking simmering.
We still push it.
It's actually, trust us, it's going to get better. So
behind closed doors, we push this so hard.
We do,
and it will show.
Well, the people who really push are these damn producers. Yes. Jimmie, I need it. Hit me with that list. Hit me with it like a baseball in the chest.
This week's executive producers are Tanya Volanek, Jordan Bennett, Ariana Light, Jacqueline Hall, who donated both ways. Thank you so much, Jacqueline. Nick Beardsley, Luis Flores, Christina Hansen, Jeremiah Bueller, Ellie Kamek. You guys,
thank you guys for everything.
What you guys do for us is intense and
incredible.
We can't thank you enough. Thank you. That's what I have there.
Yeah. No.
We can't thank you enough, but thank you.
But thank you.
Other producers this week are James Snell, Chris McLeod, Allie Payne, Thomas Smith, Kara Barcroft, John with no last name, Deborah Pinto, Ronnie Kumar, Matthew Mitchell, John Lash, Billy Szynski, Alexis Blind Hour, I think, or Blindor. I don't know. Joseph Larson, RC Bodies by Jake, Beverly Henkel, Johnny Johansson, Sonny Johansson, Kimberly Radisky, Laura Burton, Ashley Vio, Melanie Kelly, Cody Owens, Jesse Hartman, Rachel Morgan, Ash Loveday, James Martyr, Patrick Sanders. Yes. Yeah. Sabrina Chavez, Daniel Perry, and Aaron Rulker, Lauren Day, Katie or Kate, Kayte, could be either or. Yeah, Ward Palmer, Will Slattery, Jasmine Sneed, Alex Warner, Robin Throckmorton, Liz Vasquez, and I'm so sorry, Liz. I'm so bummed that somebody took advantage of it.
I hope that gets resolved. I didn't follow up.
She can't.
There's nothing get resolved at all.
The bank sending her PayPal sending her the banks.
Yeah, sorry. You guys, I'm so sorry. She's so cool, too. Yeah. We're very sorry. That sucks. Don't fuck each other over, please.
If they tweet to us that there are show or tickets available, we will retweet them, and that's, I guess, our best vetting.
That's all we can do.
That's all we can do.
Anything
but
if
somebody just offers you tickets, don't do that.
I don't even know.
I'm so bummed about that. That makes me really angry. Nicole Rodney, Rodney or Rooney? I don't know which that is. Andrew Jones, Bryce Law, Lauren Botha. Probably not Francis's or Francois. Probably not.
Botha,
No.
the guy who Tyson beat up.
Probably not. No. Jacob Schrag, Robin Anderson, Lucy Holland, Evie Schaefer, Peyton Meadows, Sandy Roberts, Joelle Nicole, Jude Kendall, Kate Newton, Mackenzie West, Tracy. No, that's Trey Volkanar. Ryan Ashton, I think. Yes. Right. Mary Sullivan, Stephen Rude, Jason with no last name, Gamble with no last name, 107 dildos, Benji Young, Kitty Anderson, Talisha Welker, Kylie Miller, Dan Lanham. I think that's a real name.
Yeah, I think so.
I hope so. Reagan Shalkley, Brad Zermeta, Karen Kruger, Steve Schnell. Steve, thanks,
Steve.
Andrew Vipond, Katie Peterson, Sinfully Delightful Clean Eating, Tanya Johnson, Penny Kier, Amy Pinella, probably not Lou's daughter.
Let's hope so.
Joe McCrary, Molly McCarthy, Jason Borghetti, Jill Lohan. Is that Lohan? Is Lindsay's mom named Jill? No.
Hey, you know what? We have a lot of famous siblings and kids today.
R. Finch, Candace Williams, Mark Davis, Dee Carter, Hayden.
Padres reliever, Mark Davis. Excellent.
Probably. Lori Ziegler, probably not Dolph's wife.
Probably not. See, this is so many this week.
Jennifer Karshner, Kay Spearman, probably not. Lorenzo? Was it Lorenzo Spearman? I think so. I think that's right.
Alonzo Spellman.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, whatever. Chelsea Kravitz, probably not Lenny's daughter.
Chris Spielman.
Chris Spielman, that was the name.
Spielman and Lenny Kravitz's daughter.
Carly Palmero? No, Palmatiere.
Hey.
Okay, all right. I'll stop it now. Chris Hoffman, probably not Dennis.
Probably not. Probably not Dustin's son.
Right. Yeah. Brandy Hildebrand, Jennifer Fried, Oliver McKenzie, Sean McKinley, Dave Torok says the bottom line is life. Or the bottom is life? I don't know what that means, but it's
deep, man.
It really is.
Thank you.
Matt Sishoff, Jacqueline D, Thomas O'Connell, Daria Taumar.
One of those.
Robert Larson,
Probably.
Diana Michalski, Rio McCarthy, not sure. Jeff Thompson, Jennifer with no last name. David McGrath, Katie Fee, Tion Marsh, Casey Jones. Probably not.
Probably.
Amelia, Lindsay Bird, Jasmine Griffin, Christina Sherry, Raquel Quintero, Rachel Job, Tay Lamel, Adam King's brother-in-law had a birthday, and he didn't.
Stephen? Sorry.
But his brother made us those rings out of quarters.
Yeah, those are awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And Adam introduced himself to me in Minnesota as that's my brother-in-law. I fuck his sister.
Oh, I remember that.
Which is my favorite way of anybody's ever. Okay. Eric P, probably not your brother. Thomas Spade, Amber Legg, Casey Crow, and all of our patrons. You guys are the best.
Thank you, everybody. You're wonderful, wonderful bastards. We fucking love every one of you. Thank you so much. God damn it. Jimmie, what if they wanted to thank you? How could they possibly find you?
You can find me at Whisman Sucks, WHISMAN Sucks on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. But really, it's the donations and the show following and you guys supporting what we do. That stuff is really what matters to me. Where can they find you?
You can find me at Jimmie P is funny, or copy and paste my name from the show description, or hide a GPS unit under my car. I don't know if you want to stalk me, however you want to find me. Those are all ways to find me.
I was trying not to emphasize.
Well, I mean, it could happen. We gave them ideas already. We already gave them the idea, so we have no choice now. But that said, hope you enjoyed this show, everybody. This was one of those crazy ones that I knew was going to be crazy, and
I liked him so much. And I know
he's such a great player. That's
none
the
of
thing.
this.
Well, you know what? This is what we do. We burst bubbles, everybody, live from the Crime and Sports Studios. We will see you next week.
Bye.
If you like crime and sports, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this White Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. I'm going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles,
a big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud,
sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.